Introducing PubCoin. PubCoin is the rewards program for pub sports contributors. Regular chat contributors share their play of the day, POD, in the YouTube chat, including the phrase POD in their message. At the end of the week, the amount of units earned are converted into PubCoins. PubCoin can be used as reward points for prizes, shop discounts, and contests.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Mills here, Pub Sports Radio. Do you guys want to challenge the personalities here at Pub Sports Radio? Do you guys think you're better than them at entering in your MMA predictions and picks? Would you want to get paid for it? $100? Here's how you do it, man. You sign up right here at the link below. It's just this easy. PubSportsRadio.com. Enter your email. Pick your weekly picks. That's it. Oh, and you get bonus points if you can predict how they're going to win in what round. Every single week, a new winner's getting crowned. So every Saturday on Pub Sports Radio. So come on and check us out. You can win $100 just for signing up. Only thing you need to do is see if you can beat us here at Pub Sports Radio by entering your UFC predictions and picks weekly. Do it. I dare you. See you guys.
Your membership to gold, you will be automatically entered in every horse race every Wednesday and Friday.
A lot of names, a lot of familiar faces, and another chance for $50 to sign up for PSR Gold. It's going to be a lot of fun. Why wouldn't you want to be on this list, huh? Frank, that's a great question. Does AI determine the winner? No, Frank. The fastest horse does. So shout out to everyone that's a member. We appreciate you guys. We let our horses run forever. 2.5 hours.
Hey, we're racing.
It's Antonio. Here we go.
And they are off.
You know I'm not winning this. My horse ain't like this.
And here comes Big Show, who says 2 minutes is too long. Big Show wants this race to end right now. Going to be moving into the stretch soon. K-Wolf up front. Saturated making a move. And there's nasty motherfucking Nate. Director 97. And he Director 97. $100. He wanting all the money.
Oh my God,
Director! And it's Director 97. Back.
Oh my God!
Fresh, take it home! We're 6-5 Oh God! Saturated. Friedrich gonna come home with it. Is it Billy Friedrich's time? Is it his time? No, it's not. Cody Norton making this Billy the fight with as well. Billy the fight. Algary's from H-Town. Does Coin have enough space to get home? Oh, will Daby take care of business? Here comes the show. A third win for Director 97.
But Connor Mack takes out. He might be blowing his load a little bit too early. Is anybody? The contestant, here comes Iron Eagle out of nowhere. Iron Eagle.
It's a packed race. 5 seconds. Crystal from the back. Crystal. The family wants that.
Get 'em, Jimmy, where low shack at? The bottle's getting empty, I'm not cracking, we stacking. Chips, all of this, what I want, plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone, I prefer elevated, Pub Sports Radio. Time to get educated, who get produced, fade the juice, letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call it truth. They're getting slaughtered, can't forget Jeff and low baggers in the chat. That's a legal weapon, cause we be, oh yeah, pubbing. We be pubbing!
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Friday, August 2nd to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. It's a winning day yesterday. You know, we'll take it. It's funny. Slow Jams Arsenal salty. Bears plus 2.5 in the over 32.5. If that was an SGP, you know, be salty, but you cash the over. If it were single bets, you cash the over 32.5. And look, I thought it was the perfect recipe there for the Texans. Boyle against Austin Reed, and we were going to have 24 minutes to take care of things. As soon as I was just praying Brett Rittman was going to be pulled, and then he was pulled. It was exactly the situation I wanted, but all the money line bets were avoided. But great job for those of you who did move on the over, as all the articles, all the sharps were on the under, and we saw that late move. If you were watching the lines, to the over, which gave us an inkling that maybe that would be in play. But the thing about the spot was you have quarterbacks now. It's more, Davis Mills is just, he's had the opportunity to be a starter. It was more the Brett Rippons and I thought Tim Boyles that could push the game over. Quarterbacks, they need to prove something. So, there's a lot of opportunities for us in preseason football, and we'll be keeping a very close eye on it, because when you have quarterback battles, you see what happens. When you don't, things slow down. And also the early over, I think, can help us cash some unders next week. And we'll talk all about that. 1-1 in MLB, which was disappointing, but we cashed the under in CFL. I still do not know, and this happens. We know this happens in football. The better team doesn't always win, but I still do not know how the Bombers didn't beat the Argos last week. I just don't. I mean, we saw all the turnovers and then the missed field goal in overtime, all that stuff. But this bet, the under, should have got me into the black on the season. But it was a nice no sweat under for those of you who joined. We did panic, get the bet in as fast as possible, because that line had been climbing, and I was wondering how high is it going to climb. But before we give a shout out to everybody, we got to get right into Olympic basketball. We have a game popping off here in 10 minutes. So Jose, let's move over to Canada versus Spain, and then I'll give all the shouts out. We'll talk about what happened yesterday with everybody. And I had to stop myself there. I was starting to wax poetic. There was no need for that. We have a game popping off at 11:15 Eastern. I like both of these games. I like both of these games a lot. First off, with Canada-Spain, Canada's already clinched a spot in the men's Olympic quarterfinals. They handily beat Greece and Australia, and they looked very good doing it. And, Shea is being smooth operator. He's not being played too much, and he won't get played much tonight. Or tonight in France, today here, this morning here. RJ Barrett has been unbelievable. 47 points through the two games. I mean, he's just looked so good. 16 and 27 from the field, not making the boneheaded defensive mistakes that we saw that got him kicked out of the Big Apple and up north in the first place. For me, this is pretty simple. It's motivation. And there's an angle I have in the second game that we'll talk about after we do the what ups and we go over everybody's action. But this is pretty simple. Spain is an aging group that is not as good as prior Spanish basketball teams, but their whole Olympics is on the line, and that motivation, I think, is enormous. Now, I have trouble with the line movement and the cash flow for these Olympic games. So one thing I did do is I took a screenshot of what it was on Wednesday at 4 p.m. So we could do the line movements here. And there being huge line movements. So let's go over this now. I'm on Spain. I got +9. It was +9.5 on Wednesday at 4 p.m. It's +8 in this bet through side, +8.5 at 365. It was +9 here right now when I moved on it. And Gordon Ninkowski says Spain is a team in transition, and wine time on Spain, Canada over 171. I get that over, but let's just do the line history here on this. AOD looking at Shea over assists. Hope that he plays enough. Let's hope that he plays enough. But let's roll right now here with this just line history here. So Canada was -9.5, and now it is 8.5. This total 168.5 on Wednesday. We are now let's move over to basketball. Sorry about this. Let me get this set up. We are now dealing with 169.5. So this is climbing, but I didn't realize that that 171 is what wine time got, because I got 169.5 here live. I really don't think. Now, we see teams who are really good. Canada obviously has a talent advantage. We see teams when the pressure's off, play loose and very good basketball. And I'm not saying that won't happen here in the first half. I just don't see Fernandez playing the best players, the big minutes. And I'm certain that the bigs will be rested, and you'll see a lot of Kem Birch and players of that ilk. So, in my dude saying not taking too many mouths to feed on Canada team. And Goran and Kofsky, yeah, Australia hurt a lot of people. Because that market moved heavily to Australia. I'm only 1-1 in this basketball tournament, but I like both of these games. So, and there is our guy Sean Higgs in the house who says, "Who has the breakdancing odds on longest windmill?" I love it, Sean. Sean will be back in action with our NFL Pub Hub. He was spectacular this past year. Oh, he got 168.5. Okay. Looking at the number on the screen. That's all good. That's all good one time. So I think motivation is a key factor. And I also think that if Canada plays loosey-goose and really nice basketball with no pressure on them in the first half, that we look to get on live with Spain. They're 1-1. They played, a little bit better basketball than I expected them to play, in all honesty. We knew they were in trouble against Australia. We knew that they were going to be able to take out Greece. So I'm on Spain at +9 here to get our started at Canada-Spain. We'll get into France-Germany in a second, but I'd like to give the shouts out to the cappers in the... Oh, no, what the hell did I just... there we go. The cappers in the chat. Justin McKelvey in the house. Stacks play of the day is on the over 7.5. Stacks play of the day. Let's get this all copied and pasted here. We are going to talk Olympic basketball. Then we'll talk CFL. We've hit 6 of our last 7 in CFL. But it's still what your season numbers are, not what your last week numbers are. So I need to win a couple more here to get into the black. But remember, I told you guys about the Calgary Stampeders perfect storm. That's now 4.5 and -205. Again, we got in on the money line -125. So stacks play of the day, Astros over 7.5 here. Swiggy entering in yesterday's plays of the day on our Pub Sports Radio website. There was an issue with the chat. It took a while for the chat to get on our replay, but it is there now. So we are filling everything up right now. Cab cashed with the Kansas City Royals. Yesterday had a nice look there with Seth Lugo bouncing back. It was nice work. Jermaine Connolly, LJ from H-Town, Trill OG play today is Astros Rays over 7.5. I want the Rays. I haven't bet it yet. I'm going to talk it out with you guys, but I'm very interested in the Rays. First five for me. MLB spreadsheet play today is the Tampa Bay Rays at +147. I'm not sure how Kikuchi's going to handle this. He's a guy that wants comfort, and he was sad that he left Toronto. I really don't know how he's going to handle this move to Houston. When his father died, it completely broke him when he came over from Seattle. And there's it's a very difficult thing to go through, but it completely broke him. It broke him for 1.5 years. Then he came back and had that all-star season for the Mariners that seemingly came out of nowhere. Got the nice contract with the Jays, looked horrific in that first year. Because he just, anytime, I don't want to speak as if I know him personally, but I don't know how he's going to handle this move. Wine Time Sports is on France money line against Germany. I want France, and we're going to talk about that game. But I want them on the spread. I'm going to see how high it gets up. We know that the money's coming in on Germany. I want France, and we're going to break that one down here shortly. I don't think they're the better team. I just think situationally, it's not a bad spot for them. I also would be curious. I think I'd be a little easier to hammer that game if I cash this first one off the hop. But Gerald Jones in the house says, best bet Raiders over 6.5 wins season total. Joey Marinaccio cashing with Morton over 17.5 outs. That we cashed that under in the Braves Marlins games. Those Braves unders just keep giving back to us. Joey Marinaccio, the Dapper Capper play today is under 17.5 outs. Under 17.5 outs at -130. Let's get that locked and loaded for us. Gomber under 17.5 outs. And then we have Goran Ninkovsky, now a member for 11 months of PSR Gold. Goran Ninkovsky, a lot of you guys also have donated to our friend Tori Coker's GoFundMe. That means a ton to us. So thank you to all of you guys who are supporting our friend in a real tough spot here. We've been talking about it on the show. Jose, I'll pop it in the chat here, but it means a ton here. So thank you to all of you guys. Serious business in the house. Crystal Craig, she's moving on. Yankees team total over 2.5, and Soto 1 hit at plus 100 for Crystal Craig. Let's get that all copied and pasted. Let's get that cash for you, Crystal Craig. Slow Jams, Arsenal. We got Mally Mal, Lex Steele, Beavis Rogers, AOD, Mikey Money. Jordan Nordman in the house and says, what up, what up? Wife finished up chemo yesterday. Doctor says everything is looking good. Halfway there. Radiation up next. Then this will hopefully be over. Nordy, it's, that trip your family took to Disneyland was so incredible. The way you've handled all of this has been, I think it's part of the reason why, she's succeeding in this battle is because of the positivity that you've continually poured out to your family. And we are thinking of your wife and thinking of your family. And it's just the most wonderful news. I told you when we were talking about this, prior today, but I just had this certain feeling, that she was going to beat it. And I'm not a fairy tale, glass half full kind of person. I maybe once was, but you can kind of get that shit beaten out of you in life. But I was just so confident in it. And so it's just, she's such a battler. She's so tough too. And proud of her and proud of you guys, proud of the family getting through this. So thinking of you guys, the Norman family in Edmonton, they moved from Toronto and then had to deal with all of this, and they've done it so well. So I love you, Nordy, and thinking about you guys. AOD, Harold Williams. Oh, and the live bet Bears plus 3.5. I really think now that the hook could have saved you, but I really think Boyle versus Austin Reed was all falling into place for us. Joseph Gomez ready to go. Jay Peasy in the house. Jay Peasy's been crushing. I hope you follow Jay Peasy on Twitter. He's been absolutely eating. Andrew G cashed the under in the CFL game. No sweat. That was no sweat. AOD on RJ over points. Again, I don't know how long. I mean, I don't know how many minutes RJ and Shea are going to get in this game. It's just about to pop off right now. Sammy Culmer in the house. Hope Delta is treating you well, my friend. Wine time again on the over. And Sammy Culmer moving in Olympic tennis. Musetti, set 1 plus 150. Big O says, I'll take the points with Spain. Let's get that Big O, my man. And great to have Shawnee Higgs in the house. Great to see him. Kelly McInnes, Jermaine Connolly, and Swiggy Bet says, catching up on the plays of the day now. Thank you for doing that, Swiggy. DC Capper in the house who cashed with Atlanta and the Cubbies and Kansas City in soccer. I love to see it. Swiggy has our UFC contest up right now, $100 up for grabs, our free UFC contest. We also have our $50 horse race at the end of today's show. We're actually swimming. We are swimming. We're going to do swimming heats today. Raul Fernandez in the house, Robert Franklin, and Sean Higgs on Phillies Seattle under 8. Phillies Seattle under 8 for Sean Higgs. That's a must copy and paste. That's that Brian Wu start. That's a fascinating game here to close up the card. And those are Daby Cab spots at the end of the card as well. I kind of like Estes to have a good start, but that's the Tyler Phillips, Brian Wu start. Higgs, I'm very interested in what you think of Tyler Phillips in this spot. 105 pitches he threw in that completo last out, and 85 was this previous high in Major League Baseball. Now, I know he's only had like 4 starts, but I wonder if you think you have any concern. I guess you must not have much concern, but or maybe it's you trust the Mariners bats to be quiet here in this one. Lucas Ryan in the house says, I guess the Bombers can't score. No, they can't. The Bombers are the perfect football team for unders. What did Castillo kick 6 field goals yesterday? No, they're perfect. The Bombers are the perfect football team for us for the rest of the year. And I love them. I know that as I said, I've made it all back on unders. They've now cashed unders in 8 of their 9 games. I mean, come on. They're perfect. They're the perfect football team. Stephen Hairston in the house. Hairston, like in Blue Jays team total over, Orioles team total over, Skunk Blaster, Bankroll, Spence. We got Cheshire Cat ready to go. Dutch Boy Fresh in the house. Dutch Boy Fresh been delivering our college football breakdowns on our YouTube page, our Pub Sports Radio YouTube page. Check them out. He's doing a great job at breaking down the ACC teams right now. Please give them a check out and please support our guy, Dutch Boy Fresh in the house. Episode 13, the Panthers is out right now. Pittsburgh Panthers out right now. Slow Jams Arsenal, Michael Johnson, Rodney Barton in the house. Philly Eagle Flyer. Nordy, you're the man. Chris is joining us. Slatsy 45, ready to talk football. We got a great group. Sean Higgs says Mariners still can't hit, won't matter, says our guy. All right. Razor Sharp picks in the house as well. The Wager Detective ready to go. Top Set, our guy Top Set says what's in store this year for football shows. Well, Bankroll Blitz is going to be back in business, of course, on Tuesday nights. But we are going to all of our college football and NFL stuff is going to be shared next week. Next week it'll all be out here, and we'll have the artwork and everything like that. So that's coming here very soon. All right, so let's get this live basketball game up here so we can keep an eye. 3-2 Canada. Not a very high scoring first 2 minutes and 9 seconds here. Spain with the ball. Okay, so let's move on to the second Olympic basketball game here at 3 p.m. France versus Germany. Both teams are 2-0. Everybody's on Germany. See the line moving accordingly. Germany was minus 2.5 at minus 115 in this screenshot from Wednesday at 4 p.m. And here, let's move over here. Get this up. Sorry about that. Here right now, they are sitting at 4 at a pick'em. I expect this to go to 4.5. It could possibly go to 5. The biggest change here, and this has been a monstrous market move, is towards the under. This under was at 166.5 on Wednesday at 4 p.m. We've dropped 5 points. We now have a 161.5. So a monstrous move towards the under in this one. So let's break this down. Germany's looked very good. They've continued their solid play since they won the World Cup, the FIBA World Cup. There is an expectation that they're perfectly suited to, perfectly might be a little much, but they're in a fine situation to defend Wemby and Gobert. They've got Theis, Mo Wagner, and Voigtman, who can all battle Wemby and Gobert on the glass. We know that Mo's brother, Franz, is the straw that stirs the drink for this German squad. And Dennis Schroeder, also a heartbeat here. Wemby had 19 points against Brazil, 18 points against Japan. He's hitting threes. He looks good. The thing for me here is I want to fade. It's not even about fading the public. It's about fading what we just saw. And what we just saw was Japan play very, very well against France and then regress to the mean against Brazil. Now, part of it was that Hachimura didn't play, but they regressed completely to the mean and they lose by 20. Then we have a France team that looked terrible. They looked terrible against Japan. And sometimes when we see it with pitchers, when they get their way out of a bases loaded jam in the first inning, when you get in a tournament, in an NCAA tournament, when you have a higher seed, squeak one out with a last second shot or win a game in overtime, they come back and they usually smash. I expect France to play very well, and I want to see how high this line goes. I I think Germany is a better basketball team. If this was, and Ro Fernandez saying no chemistry in France. Look, this is an aging French team with a young Wemby on it. I just believe that we can take advantage of what everybody saw against Japan, and everybody's on Germany. Everybody, all the articles, everybody's on Germany. And lines moving heavily towards Germany. So I'm going to wait and see exactly what number we can get. And so that game doesn't pop off for 3 hours and 38 minutes. So going to be patient and see what we can get here. Let's roll. That is Olympic basketball. So we have Spain +9. They are down 6-3 right now. So it's a 10.5 live. So we'll keep an eye on this one. Let's get ready to attack the rest of the card. Great job, Wager Detective. I love it, man. I love to hear it, and thank you. Thank you guys all for joining us. Let's get into the Canadian Football League here. So we've hit 6 of our last 7. And, the record still is not good enough, but we're moving in the right direction. Let's move Friday, August 2nd, this evening, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. We have the Montreal Alouettes, 6-1, 3-0 on the road at the Hamilton Tiger Cats, 2-5, 1-2 at home. We're at Tim Hortons Field in Hamilton, Ontario, 78 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, no wind, 4-mile-per-hour winds. Let's get into the line history here for this one. Sorry, let me move over from this. Let's get into the line history for this spot. And I did move on it. It took a while for me to get my game script together. And I really like it. And again, Davis Alexander. So there was a thought that Cody Fajardo might play. He's not going to play. It is Davis Alexander who will be starting. And with Davis Alexander, he came in and saved the day. The Portland State product, he came in and saved the day. He looked extremely poised. If you were judging your action this week on what we saw last week, of course, you'd be backing Davis Alexander and the Montreal Alouettes, and you'd also be backing Trey Ford and the Edmonton Elks. What happens, and we see it often in NFL, CFL, and college football, when the team's defense is planned and set up around a quarterback, and then a different quarterback comes in, they have a very difficult time adjusting properly. And the new quarterback can come in, switch things up, and points can start happening at a high rate. But then you have a week to prepare for that quarterback. Also, when you have a quarterback like Davis Alexander, who had no pressure on him, he knew all the pressure was on Caleb Evans. Caleb Evans looked terrible, and Davis Alexander came in and shone. He was spectacular, and he wanted to prove to everybody that what he can do. Now he's going to be the starting quarterback, and this is very, very – this is much more difficult. It's much more difficult. Let's get into the line history here. We have the Ticats at plus 4.5 at minus 105. It tells us that there very easily could be a 5 coming here in this one, but we're sitting at 4.5. There has been a half-point move, and added juice towards the Montreal Alouettes. And on this total, we are sitting here with a 50.5 at Pinnacle. It's minus 116 to the under. The other books have gone to 50. My bookie's gone to 49.5. So we have a move to the under in this one. So Montreal comes in off a rest advantage. They've not played since Thursday, July 25th. Now, they were down 16-3. They came back to defeat the Rough Riders 20-16 at home. And look, Davis Alexander was 15 of 18 for 178 yards and 2 touchdowns. Slatsy says Alexander starts with his dad watching from home with cancer, but I'm betting on both defenses, one being elite, the other being terrible. Owls have playmakers happy with the 3.5. Yes. And Slatsy, these teams very, very well, especially your Alouettes. And you talked about what Davis Alexander did in front of his dad last week. This is not me fading necessarily Davis Alexander. This is me saying that the Tiger Cats have found their way. And yes, you could say the two teams that they beat, the Argos and the Elks, are horrible teams. They were destroying both of those football teams by 20-plus points before they took their foot off the gas. And it almost hurt them because there was a special teams touchdown by the Argos, and they got back into the game. I think it will be more difficult for Davis Alexander than it was when the defense was prepared for Caleb Evans. Davis Alexander isn't the dual threat that Caleb Evans is, and he had poise. And yes, you bring up great point, Slatsy. When we talk about you're playing for somebody, and if that somebody's your father, I mean, that can make you play very, very well. And Bo Levi Mitchell is coming off a 5-touchdown, 1 interception game. He now leads the CFL touchdowns, 316 yards passing. And James Butler just ran 21 times for 98 yards. They opened up with 5 losses. They've tightened the ship. And I think they're in this football game. I think 4.5 points is too many points. That we saw what Davis Alexander can do with everybody at home and everybody cheering him on. Now we're going to see him with a sold-out Tim Hortons Field and the crowd going crazy here. DC Capper says, did you have a good day yesterday? I had a winning day yesterday, so I'll take it. We have max bets coming in. Lamont Williams, Cincinnati money line. So I guess that's a good day. I wanted it to be a better day, but winning day is what matters. So got you Lamont Williams copied and pasted Reds money line. So look, I'm on the Ticats at plus 4.5. If this goes to 5.5, clearly, we've seen this late movement. The late movement yesterday was towards the Bombers play. So I'll be a little uncomfortable. But I'm on the Tiger Cats plus 4.5. Let's move on to tomorrow night's action. 7 p.m. Eastern, we have the Edmonton Elks 0-7, 0-3 on the road at the Saskatchewan Roughriders, 5-2, 3-0 at home. We're at Mosaic Stadium, Regina, Saskatchewan, 76 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 10 miles per hour. I thought that Chris Jones would be able to turn around the Elks, and he wasn't. But I had concerns when he was fired. I had concerns because Jarius Jackson, of course, is a quarterback, a dual threat quarterback, played for Notre Dame. Chris Jones sees himself as a defensive coach, and I was very concerned about what was going to happen to this defense and with this team in general. It's one of the first times that I don't back a team that just fired their coach, and I was concerned. And I also said, why on earth? Oh, let's get the blue balls play today and the blue waffle parlay of the day. I was very concerned here when, he didn't put Trey Ford in at quarterback. And when I did my first breakdown of the Alouettes, I said, how long do we have to wait for Trey Ford to be a quarterback? Because we know what McLeod Bethel Thompson does. He's a check down specialist, and he's just not a good enough quarterback to be a starter in this league, even though he puts up stats. He puts up passing stats. So it was their second straight loss since firing Chris Jones. They lose 44-28 home to the Tiger Cats. And again, it's their defense that I'm so concerned about. Let's talk about the line history. And this is the only game that I haven't bet. This total is at 51. It opened at 51, minus 108 to the under. It's now minus 106 to the under. There's been a 2-cent move to the over. I want the under in this football game. The reason why I haven't moved on it is because the Elks defense is so bad. But I really believe that Shea Patterson and the Rough Riders don't have a good enough offense to take advantage of it. If I had more conviction in that, because I told you guys that there was stats that could tell you that the Bombers have a bad defense. But I told you there's other stats that tell you that they have a really strong defense. And I said, I think they can shut the Lions down. That was part of my whole cap on the under yesterday. And here, if I had more conviction that this Elks defense could step up, I would be on this under. Because Trey Ford came in and was very good. They were down 41-8. He replaces McLeod Bethel Thompson. He goes 10 of 15 for 121 yards and 3 touchdowns. He ran 3 times for 1 yard. Remember, this is the team with Trey Ford and Kevin Brown last year that was leading the league in rushing. This year, they're last in the league at rushing, 67 yards per game. And Kevin Brown is out with a shoulder injury, so they don't even have their star running back here. So what have we seen from the Saskatchewan Roughriders is that Mosaic is now a very tough place to play. They're selling out and things are, it's just extremely tough place to play again. We've also seen Corey Mace revitalize the defense. So this defense is ready to go. Now they have a full week to prepare for Trey Ford, a Heck Crichton Award winner for That's Our Best Canadian College Football Player, who is a dual threat out of the pocket, but he doesn't have Kevin Brown. So even when he came in, he only ran 3 times last week. The Rough Riders come in with a rest advantage. They've set up their whole defense to stop Trey Ford. And Shea Patterson is just not that good, and he's getting beaten up. He's getting beaten up in there. 21 to 33 for 222 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and he couldn't move the ball when it mattered most. The Rough Riders were shut out in the second half. We had Gordon Nkowski tell us that Frankie Hickson was going to be a great replacement for A.J. Ouellette, and he was. Frankie Hickson was awesome. 16 runs for 117 yards and a touchdown. Kean Schaefer-Baker also remains out of the lineup. And, Ajo looked spectacular when he came in for half of a game to replace Kean Schaefer-Baker. But when a defense knows that Ajo has to be your number one, a 21-year-old wide receiver who does have size, but hasn't played enough football. I mean, he ended up being, a Div 2 junior college football player. I think the under is in play. I really do. I think the under is in play. So, Slider says, have not bet this yet. Whole world's betting the Elks with Trey Ford, who looked great last quarter, but their defense is terrible. Tough call here. I do not want. Oh yeah, Mally Mal. The Bombers shut out the Lions. The Bombers won 25-0. So, I want the under, but again, like Slatsy's saying, can we trust this Elks defense? And no, we can't. But the Rough Riders are not capable. I mean, look at that game when I lost the under in the Rough Riders Bombers game, 30-23. When did the Rough Riders, how many offensive touchdowns did the Rough Riders put up? One? I mean, definitely not more than two. They had special team. They had a interception ran back for a touchdown, and one ran back to the 8-yard line. So I want the under. I'm interested in the under. I think Mace can slow down Trey Ford enough, and Saskatchewan can't take advantage of the Elks defense, but I'm still so hesitant with the Elks defense. So that's the situation. I haven't bet on that one yet. Let's talk about the final spot on the board, Sunday, August 4th. I've been talking about it all week. All week, I've been telling you guys this is the perfect storm. I've been telling you guys all week, the perfect storm. I got in on the money line at minus 125. When I last looked, it's 1919 Canada, Spain, by the way. When I last looked, it was 4.5 and minus 205. Let's see right now. It is back to minus 200, back to minus 4. Interesting. So a half point of buyback on the Argos and 5 cents of buyback on the Toronto Argos. This is, for me, a perfect storm situation. And we've talked about it here quite a bit on the show. First off, over the week, and I don't need to be too long on it, but, we've destroyed the market move. The Argos coming off a 16-14 overtime win that they didn't deserve. I was in Toronto. They got outgained 400 to 205. The Bombers fumbled the ball 3 times, intercepted it once, and were turned over on downs on a 3rd and 1 from the 22-yard line with 52 seconds left in the game, where if they had kicked, I expect them to win the game. Then Castillo, who's a very sure-footed kicker, misses the field goal in overtime. The Toronto offense did nothing, and they're not going to do anything ever. I'm also on the team total under 24.5. Cameron Dukes or Nick Arbuckle, pick your quarterback. They're not going to deliver. And this is a very angry Stampeders team. The Stampeders come off that 25-24 win at home over the BC Lions. It's their biggest win of the year. Now, I know some of the shine has been taken off that after watching the Lions, no show after their bye week. But they only had 5 days rest. They have to travel to Ottawa. Ottawa had 2 extra days rest that hadn't traveled, and they smashed the Stampeders in the mouth. That creates the perfect storm. If anybody thinks the Stampeders are as bad as that 33-6 loss, they're wrong. If anybody thinks the Argos are as good as that 16-14 overtime win, they're wrong. It was just the perfect spot. Before this debacle in Ottawa, Jake Maier was having his best season in the CFL. Slotsy45 says your quarterback sucks, and your answer is Nick Arbuckle, who's been cut by multiple teams already. Go Stamps. It's the perfect storm. It's the perfect storm. There's only been one situation like this where we moved on a money line about a month ago at minus 125. It went close to minus 200, and we cashed it very, very easily. That was the Alouettes versus the Red Blacks. So now Mally Mal, look, I got minus 125 on the money line. It's now minus 4. I've been pitching it to everybody on every single show. I started Tuesday's show on Low Shack in the Bag with this is just the best bet imaginable. So now it's at 4. look, it's again, you have to beat these market moves. You have to. I mean, even when we got the money line, I know Justin McKelvey moved on it on Tuesday night, and he got minus 148 against minus 200. So, do you want it at 4? I don't know if I want it at 4. But a minus 125 money line is just money in the bank. Again, as soon as the lines come out, I'll tweet out my CFL action. And look, 22 and 21 is not good enough. No reason why anybody should care that I'm tweeting it out. But we are going to roll. We are going to roll. So I tripled up on this one. I took the Stampeders minus 125 on the money line. And then I took them first half. Now that was at 365. The first halves weren't out yet at 365 when I bet that. Then as soon as the first halves came out, I took the Stampeders first half minus a half at minus 115 at Pinnacle. And I took the team total under 24 and a half at minus 135 at Pinnacle. I looked at what that was, the team total, because it's not available still at 365. And by the way, this has moved to a very juiced 3.5 for the Stampeders. But even the Stampeders money line's minus 200 at Pinnacle. This team total is still 24.5 at Pinnacle, but the under's minus 157. Now, mine was expensive, minus 135, but it's now minus 157. So I've tripled up on this game. Stampeders money line, Stampeders first half minus half, Argonauts team total under 24.5. I'm on the Ticats tonight, and I do want the under in Elks Rough Riders. And you know what? I think I get there. I think I get there. I really do. I just don't think the Rough Riders can take advantage of how bad the Elks defense is. I could be very wrong there, but I just don't think so. And I think Mace can prepare for Trey Ford. So, and we often talk about firing a coach in football it's very, firing a coach after 6 games, that was just a mistake. You're putting too much pressure on Jarius Jackson. You're putting too much pressure on. Now, look, maybe hiring Chris Jones was a mistake, or moving him in the offseason. You very rarely see a coach is fired in the first half of a season, and now it's blowing up in the Elks' face. All right, that is CFL. So we've got Olympic basketball locked in. We have CFL locked in. It is 21-19 Spain. Let's just stay in our shoes, obviously, but let's go 2-1, and then we'll go 3-1 here in a second. Rem Mo says, I hope no owner comes in and buys the Angels and relocates them to Kabul, Afghanistan. Baseball hotbed, Kabul, Afghanistan. Rem, my man. Slatsy, I love capping with you, and I love what you said about Davis Alexander, and you talked about that the week before, and he was a savior. I think they'll be a little more difficult for him, but I can't wait to watch that game this evening. Can't wait to watch football all week. And another thing about CFL and why I think you guys should cap CFL and cap it. You can cap it fully because there's only 9 teams in the league. It gets you ready for NFL. It gets you thinking in the right ways. It sharpens up that knife, for me, a chopstick, for me to stab. All right. We move on to Major League Baseball. Please welcome the star of MLB programming here on Pub Sports Radio, coming to us from San Antonio, Texas, home of the Southtown 101, best bar in Texas, Pubapalooza 4, not far away. Please welcome our friend Jose Bouquet to the show. Jose, how are you?
Good, Jimmy. I want to make it to Pubapalooza 4. Fucking baseball season's taking me one day at a time, slowly sucking my life force, but it's a grind every day. It's a fun grind at the very least, and I'm happy to do it with all you guys in the chat as always. Nice to see everyone.
It is nice to see you, my friend. It was a tough card yesterday. The Rockies did come through for you late.
Yeah, and the Cardinals did not. The Cardinals did the very opposite. Yeah, so it was a winning day blown by the Cardinals, but it happens.
Oh, I love the group Ready to Rock. Topset says buck knife in mouth. Topset ready for
shout out to Buck Knife.
The NFL. I got his hat. I've got some exciting stuff here for my studio, but I've got his hat that he got me, a beautiful Buccaneers hat. It's a little too big for me, but it's going to look beautiful when I have my background all set up. Shout out to a Topset, Bruce Cotney, ready to get.
Wait, you're setting up your hats again?
I don't want to get too. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I was about to say there's no way that's happening.
And great to see all of you guys. St. Louis, Chicago under 8 here for Wine Time Sports. Have you moved on any games pre-show?
No, not yet. There actually, that's a lie. I have moved on one. Oakland A's. Best bet of the day, best bet of the week. Oakland
Joey
A's. today.
Estes and the Oakland A's. I like that spot. Have they announced a starter for the Giants? Why not? Why haven't they?
I thought it was going to be Harrison. I thought the starters were announced, but the lines have not been available, so I'm not sure.
So, I mean, it's Harrison. He's not. It sums up with Kyle Harrison.
Yeah, like I said, I thought there would be, but I haven't had any lines yet either, basically. But yeah, I thought it was going to be Harrison, and already forgot who I had for the other team. But yeah, something weird going on there.
We also have Razor Sharp's entire Saratoga card here for us. Absolutely beautiful. His entire card right in front of our eyes here. Saratoga full card. Thank you, Razor. Go get that cash, my man. The spa in effect here. Well, let's get to work. Let me just refresh my weather here and let's roll. We started 2:20 p.m. Eastern. St. Louis Cardinals 56 and 53, 27 and 28 on the road. Chicago Cubs 53 and 58, 28 and 25 at home. Wrigley Field in Chicago, Illinois. Eric Fetty. Now, Von Polo perfectly, and it's in my head, but Von Polo said that the lefty that I had put faith in, Trevor Rogers, was going to get lit up against the Guardians in his first start as Oriole, and he did. That is exactly what happened.
Did you end up moving on
him? Yeah, I was on the first 5 under 5. That was my loss, my lone loss on the card. I cashed the under in Braves, and then I pushed the Rockies first 5. And I came so close to going first 3 and first 5 with Feltner, and I didn't. I wish I had. It was 2-0 after 3, and they allowed the 2-run bomb in the 4th inning. Let's talk about this spot. Eric Fetty, his first start as a St. Louis Cardinal, 7 and 4, 3.11 ERA, 1.14 WHIP, 21. Sorry, that's not the right. 108 Ks, 34 walks, and 14 homers allowed for Eric Fetty this year. His last start, 6-3 loss at home versus Mariners. He went 4 innings, 3 earned runs, 1 homer, 4 Ks, and 2 walks. On the road, 4.06 ERA, 239 opponent's batting average. Going up against Javier Assad. 5 and 3, 3.23 ERA, 1.35 WHIP. He's coming off a quality start, 7-3 win at the Royals, 6 innings, 3 earned runs, 5 Ks, 1 walk. At home, he is 2-1 with a 2.20 ERA, 224 opponents batting average. He's only allowed 4 jacks in 45 innings. He's been very good. The Cubs are hitting righties with a decent average, but no power, 240, 706. And the Cards are smashing righties right now, 274, 767 OPS. Cubs bullpen continues to be elite. It's best bullpen in baseball since July 1st, 1.46 ERA, 1.04 WHIP, while the Cards bullpen, 3.97 ERA, 1.26 WHIP. And Nate Pearson, the ex-Blue Jay, now a part of that bullpen. The weather at Wrigley, 74 Fahrenheit, 7.3 miles per hour right to left and slightly out. And then it flips completely and comes in. It blows in 7.5 and 8.9 miles per hour. Let's get into this line history here for this one and set up the cash flow and then hand it over to Jose Bouquet for game 1 on our card and our lone afternoon spot. On the money line, the Cardinals are minus 109. That's exactly where they opened. We've had no movement. This opened up at 5:05 p.m. yesterday and no movement at all on the money line. On the total here, we have an 8 minus 110 to the under. This opened up at 7.5 and it moved to 8 at 10 this morning. The 7.5 it opened to was juiced to the under at minus 111 as well. If you wanted the over 7.5, you were getting minus 101 on that spot. So we have a legitimate move to the over and no move on the side. 53% of the tickets and 78% of cash on the St. Louis Cardinals. And on the total here, 97% of the tickets and 92% cash on the over. It's gone up a half run. I do not know what we are going to get from Eric Fetty in his first start as a Cardinal. I think the side will have a good start, but Fetty is, I don't know. Take it away, Jose Bouquet, Cardinals, Cubs.
Yeah, I don't know either. I kind of want to watch all these guys make their first starts with their teams. And we're getting a lot of re-debuts on new teams today, so it'll be very interesting to see how it goes. But I kind of want to just watch them because I feel like the first starts for these guys are kind of like, okay, do what you've done all season with your other team, and then after we see how it works, we'll make our adjustments, tweaks, et cetera, et cetera. That's kind of what I hope happened to Trevor Rogers yesterday. We'll see what happens in his next start. But I ultimately had to pass on this game. I think that he pitches well, if anything, but I leaned under. I just didn't have enough confidence to move on this game. And you mentioned the move to the over there.
I find that Fetty is, I just don't know exactly what we're going to get. DC Capper, I've been talking about my best bet all week. It's been the Stamps all week. Now it's at -4, 3.5. Again, we got it on the money line -125. That's the best bet. I've been saying all week. I don't know if you want to move on it now.
Yeah, it's Sunday, right?
That is Sunday, yeah.
Sunday. I've got to actually watch that game because I'm very heavily invested.
So am I. It's my biggest bet. It's the full game money line. It's the biggest bet I've made in a CFL regular season game, and God, at least post pandemic.
I can confirm it is the biggest CFL bet of my life as well.
No, I love it.
A small roster, but I can't confirm it is.
We have a Panger Life on the Cardinals in this spot. And Joseph Thompson, like in the over 8. We know how hot Joseph Thompson has been. And yeah, it doesn't. This one does not appeal to me at all. I saw we had our guy T-Mac. Yeah, it was on the Cubs yesterday. Today he's on the Cards. All right, the 2:20 afternoon spot, Cardinals, Cubs. I'm not involved in. I'm not involved in either. Is Jose. Let's move on to our first evening game, 6:40 p.m. Eastern. Arizona Diamondbacks 58-51, 27-26 on the road at Pittsburgh Pirates 55-53, 26-26 at home. We're in PNC Park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Brandon Pfaadt going up against Luis Ortiz. You know, I like Brandon Pfaadt a lot, and he made us a ton of money in the playoffs last year, and I think he's a very good pitcher.
A guy in both our rotations.
We know what's wrong with Pfaadt, or we know what teams you'd be very uncomfortable when Brandon Pfaadt pitches, and it's teams with really good left-handed bats. He just shuts down right-handed hitters. Right-handed hitters this year, 183, 556 OPS. He just shuts them down. So it's the lefties that get him. Lefties hit 291, 775 OPS. This is Brandon Pfaadt's issue, you know, in mind. It's always been his issue. So it's the key to capping Pfaadt starts. So you just look in a situation where are there left-handed bats that are going to hurt you? Brian Reynolds, of course, is a switch hitter. Kutch, I don't think Kutch will even necessarily lead off against Pfaadt. But you have O'Neill Cruz, the lefty, Rowdy Tellez, the lefty, and G. Juan Bay, a lefty. That's it. That's it. It's not that bad of a spot. It's a pretty nice lineup for Pfaadt to go against, especially if you can get through that first inning there. So Pfaadt 5-6 with 3.92 ERA, 1.11 WHIP, 15 home runs allowed over 126 and a third. On the road, being a little worse than he's been at home. Not much, though. 4.29 ERA, 231 opponents batting average. His last start was bad, and it was at home against these Pirates. So they just got him for 6 innings for 5 earned runs. And I think that he's got a bag of tricks. I really do. I believe that he can come back and pitch well. But I was hesitant to move on it. 85 Fahrenheit at first pitch, 7.4 miles per hour out to left field. Luis Ortiz is who he's going up against. This total is at 8.5. 8.5. This did drop to 8 for a very short period of time last night. It's at 8.5 right now, and we've had no movement from the opening line. The money line here for this one, we have Pfaadt at -129. He opened up at -125. Now, you know, if you look at Bet Online, who got this out earlier, he opened up at -115. If you're looking at that 12 cents of movement is legitimate. There was not enough movement from Pinnacle. There's been a few cents now. Let's get to the cash flow here for this one. 98% of tickets, 97% of the cash on the over. This line's not moving. And on the money line, 29% of tickets and 45% of the cash on the Pittsburgh Pirates. And Luis Ortiz has been quite good. 5 innings, 3 earned runs in that start at Arizona. These guys didn't face off against each other. He's been great all year. 2.75 ERA. He's only allowed 4 home runs over 78 2/3. 38 2/3 of those have been at home, where opponents are only hitting 218 against them. But the Diamondbacks destroy righties. 276, 874 OPS since July 1st, while the Pirates are just 241, 696. And the bullpen is a wash. Both bullpens have been really good since July 1st. Take it away, Jose. Fought Ortiz. Floor is yours.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, we both like Fought. Luis Ortiz is a pitcher that's grown on me. He's just come up and just pitched well every time he's got the opportunity to as a starting pitcher for the Pirates. So yeah, the under just makes sense to me, Jimmy. It really does. Now you're right. Brian Reynolds is going to be an issue today. I even went to go look at his numbers. Versus a righty as a lefty, he hits well. Most of his home runs are as a lefty against a righty, so he's going to be a concern. But yeah, I like the under in this game. I was just honestly trying to figure out if I was going to bet first 5 full game or both, or what I was going to do. Both bullpens are fresh and ready to go, obviously off the off day yesterday. So I think I'm just going to end up betting full game under 8.5 here. That is, let you know right now, full game under 8.5 minus 110. And yeah, and you said no movement, all the money on the over. Very interesting.
It worked in the Marlins Braves game yesterday. And one constipated Mexican, our records were up there for all to see for about 8 minutes. Just slap yourself in the face and take another look. Under 8.5 for Jose, under 8.5. What was the juice?
Minus 110.
Minus 110. Yeah, I kind of want to back Fought in this spot. Preston Ekdahl, I didn't know you were sick. I'm sorry to hear that. Says, be grateful for your health. Currently down 17 pounds since Monday. I'm very, I hate hearing that, Preston.
Yeah, hope you're feeling better, Preston.
Yeah, man. Don't like hearing that. Sorry, my man. Under 8.5 at minus 110. Did you have interest in the Arizona Diamondbacks?
Yeah, but I just think the Pirates are playing well.
They are.
So I just stayed off of that. That's basically, Pirates playing well, actually trying to fight for a playoff spot for once. That's the main reason I stayed off, honestly. But I mean, this is prime zigzag theory for Brandon Pfaadt here, getting touched up last time. So I think it's very interesting. And for those, who are interested, obviously the Diamondbacks hold a playoff spot and the Pirates are 2.5 games back. 3-game series, I'm assuming here. So yeah, it's a huge game for the Pirates at home. So I'm sure they're going to bring their juice here. So under here for me, I think the Pirates are alive, honestly, but I'm not going to move on that.
This should be a really good lineup. I mean, obviously, it wasn't in that first start. This should be a good lineup for him. All right. Diamondbacks is a possibility here for me. This Pirates bullpen is also pitching really well. I guess I would want to focus on Pfaadt over Ortiz, but Ortiz has been good this year, and I don't really buy it. I mean, it's like Jose Urena. Do you really believe what you're seeing from that guy? And I know that the numbers tell the story. Do you believe what you're seeing from Luis Ortiz?
I mean, at least Luis Ortiz is 25 years old and, young, and you can expect the pitcher to get better, I guess. Last year, he was 5-5 with a 4.78 ERA. It wasn't bad at all. So obviously a 2.75 is a very big improvement on that. But I do think this is legit, honestly. I could see Luis Ortiz sticking to be one of the Pirates' 5-man rotation guys, honestly, in the future. I mean, they traded Quinn Priester away because they thought Luis Ortiz got it. Honestly, that's what I think. Quinn Priester, who some people say is the worst pitcher in baseball. Some people say he is. Some people like him a lot. Some people do. I'm now personally, he's the best pitcher in baseball for me now. I'm all the way in.
We have Clint Zerogan. Thank you for the kind words, Clint. And Clint, thank you so much for donating to Tori Coker's fundraiser. It means a ton to us, man. Thank you for supporting a fam like that. And Joe Todero, a big part of our Locker Room podcast, UFC podcast. Joe Todero, planting his flag. The fighter of the week, Shamil Gaziev, and inside the distance prop. That's a copy. And
That was a hell of a pronunciation by you. I would have never have gotten that.
I don't know if I got it right. I have no idea.
It sounded great.
Thank you. Okay, Jose has moved on the under 8.5 in Arizona, Pittsburgh. Let's roll on. Next up for us, 6:40 p.m. Eastern, Kansas City Royals 61-49, 25-27 on the road at Detroit Tigers 52-58, 25-29 at home. Comerica Park in Detroit, Michigan. Let's get into the weather here. 78 Fahrenheit, 7.3 miles per hour left to right and slightly out in this one. It does die down to 5.5 miles per hour by the end of it. Let's get into the line history here for this one. This is the, we saw these guys go up against each other, right? Cole Ragans and Tariq Skubal at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, I think this is opening day. I think this is actually probably like the second, maybe the third time these guys have seen each other this year, because I feel like we've seen this matchup several times. I'm fairly certain this was opening day at the very least.
And I don't remember it being opening day, but maybe it was. I'm going to try and go back to it. And in that start, Cole Ragans stepped up, if my memory is correct. Let me just go back to it here.
I'm pulling up Ragans' game logs right now. No, his first game was against Detroit. Where was that fucking? Or first game was against Minnesota. He went 6 shutty, 1 hit, 12 Ks.
He dominated the game. Remember? You see it?
Yeah. So yeah, he and that's the only appearance for him. And by the way, Skubal that game went 5 innings, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 home run allowed, 6 Ks, 2 walks. So just outdueled him there.
Skubal struggled from the get-go in that start.
Yeah,
he was just
up double in the first inning, I believe, or second.
Yeah,
inning.
he was laboring immediately. The Tigers have gone from -120 to -110. A move on the Kansas City Royals from +111 down to +102. From a total,
this opened up at -123 for the Tigers on Bet Online.
Wow. So a real legit move to Ragans. This total is at 7. And we've seen a lot of these, Jose. I don't believe, and you can correct me, I don't believe we've seen it drop to 6.5. Now, you could say this didn't really drop to 6.5. They're showing a 6.5 here, 11:30, 1 -119 to the over. But we're back at a 7. 6.5 might have been a little short. Let's get into the cash flow for this one. We have 42% of the tickets and 91% of the cash on Cole Ragans. I mean, clearly it's sharp action on the Royals. 97% of the tickets and 90% cash on the over. 3% of the tickets and 10% of cash on the under. So let's break this down. Cole Ragans, 7-7, 3.37 ERA. His last start at home versus Cubs wasn't very good. 4 earned runs allowed over 5 2/3. On the road, he's been great all year. 2.83 ERA, 214 opponents batting average. He has allowed 4 home runs over 57 1/3. For Skubal, Tariq Skubal, 7 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 8 Ks, 2 walks, and 7-2 win at home versus the Twins. At home, he's got a 1.95 ERA and a 171 opponent's batting average. Both teams are hitting lefties hard. Royals, 273, 758. Tigers, 245, 778. And both bullpens are very mediocre. Jose Bouquet, Ragans, Tariq Skubal, 2 of the best lefties in the game. Take it away.
Yeah, great game. Going to be fun. But I can see why everyone's betting the Royals. The Royals are on a hot streak right now. They're playing really well. Bobby Witt is currently just charging for that AL MVP right now. Probably who I think is going to win it, honestly, at this point. But yeah, it's tough to bet against the Royals here. And I'll say this. On Sunday, I've already pre-planned in my head that I will be fading the Royals. I'll tell you guys this now because they have a gigantic series. Gigantic series coming up at home versus the Boston Red Sox. Battling again, both teams battling for playoff spots, et cetera, but gigantic for the Royals. So I think they'll keep playing well, honestly. I think they win this game today. I didn't want to move on it because I respect the fuck out of Tariq Skubal, and I think he's a very good pitcher. He's probably going to win Cy Young as well. I can see why people are betting the under, but that 6.5 and 7-ish is a little too sketchy and low for me. Even first 5, 3.5, which I'm sure it is a little scary. If it was 4, I'd be even more sketched out, honestly, because then it makes me feel like we'd go over there. But yeah, I'm staying off this game. But like I said, Sunday, I will be fading these Kansas City Royals against the Tigers because I think there's going to be just a clear look ahead spot and I believe, we start on Monday as well. So going to be exciting, but nothing for me today.
Yeah, that 3.5 minus 125 to the under. Shout out to our guy Goran Gorky in the house with a $2 dono saying it's SGA's world. This Canada team just looks so locked in right now, but there's not much pressure on them. I'm very interested in the second half. We've had Wine Time move live at plus 12.5. Brown B said Scooball went under 6.5 Ks last 2 games versus Kansas City. I think he gets over today. What's holding me back from this is I think Scooball remembers Ragan's start. We must. I mean, it was Ragan.
Again, I think there's going to be, like I said, he's coming out with vengeance. But we said this last time about Garrett Cole, and he got fucking rocked against the Mets. But
the fact is that both teams are hitting lefties hard. Both teams are hitting lefties hard at a level that I can't. I don't want to get in the way of. I don't want to. I think they both pitch well. I mean, can you imagine this under 3.5 minus 125 at 365? I mean, that's crazy. Plus 105 for the over. I mean, that almost makes me want to bet it here.
I would say at plus 105, I'd much rather have the over there, honestly.
Let's move on. 6:45 p.m. Eastern with the Milwaukee Brewers 61-47, 30-26 on the road at Washington Nationals 49-60, 23-27 at home at Nationals Park in Washington, D.C. I didn't have all of the best bets here copied and pasted properly here. I just want to make sure that we're not missing. I lost Tampa. Okay, Gomber under. Okay, Philly, Seattle under 8. So we're all good. Okay, let's roll into this spot here. Frankie Montas first start as a Brewer. I want to fade him so badly, and I've been saying this for a while, and we've been cashing it. His last start as a Red, he looked terrible at Atlanta. 4 1/3, 10 hits, 4 and run, 6 Ks, 3 walks. He's looked very hittable for a long time, and he was bad on the road all season. 3-3, 5.47 ERA, 243 opponent's batting average. So what's going to happen in his first start? That's the question. What's going to happen in his first start? By the way, our guy Mikey Money moving on Egyptian Olympic soccer, the draw at 2:25. That starts in 55 minutes.
Mikey I was really, you could have gone anywhere with that. Once you said Egyptian, I was like, what the fuck is Mikey betting on right now? Are you going to tell me like he's betting like an Egyptian horse or something like that? Oh, by the way, I just got reminded of something. Someone in our chat alerted me that they believe another horse trainer is juicing, Jimmy, and they've been studying it for months, and they have a horse today, and I have to bet it. I'll tell you right now who it is. Raymond Handel. And it is Dylan Davis is the jockey. Race 5 today. Lions Miracle Mo. If said person wants to come out and tell everyone that they told me, I will go ahead and give them credit, but I'll keep the anonymity for now.
Sure.
But I'm betting that right now as well.
I like it. Thank you for the heads up.
Yeah.
Frankie Montas going up against Jake Irvin. Jake Irvin being great this year. 8-8, 3.44 ERA. Striking out batters, something we don't see often from 111 Ks over 128 1/3. His last start, 5 1/3, 4 hits, 2 runs, 1 homer, 5 Ks, 1 walk, and a 14-3 win at the Cardinals. Being very strong at home or on the road, just strong everywhere. Strong 2-5, 3.38 ERA. 247 points batting average. Brewers versus righties, 228, 672 OPS. Nats versus righties, 256, 729 OPS. And look, start talking horses, and there's Trisha M in the house. Trish, nice to see you. Nats versus righties, and the Brewers just not hitting righties at all. Brewers bullpen 3.82 ERA, 1.30 WHIP. Nats bullpen 5.08 ERA, 1.50 WHIP. Let's get into the line history and the cash flow. Let's start with the weather, though. Weather-wise, it's 100. Feels like 105. I don't see how that could help Jake Irvin. Feels like 105, 11.2 miles per hour to right center. It dies down to 8.9, but it's always out. Let's get into the line history here for this one. This total sitting at 9. It opened up at 9 minus 107 to the over. It's now minus 102 to the over. We have 5 cents of movement towards this under. And on the money line, we have Frankie Montas at minus 112. Opened up minus 113. So no movement. No movement. Let's get to the cash flow here for this one. 96% tickets, 97% cash on the over, a 5-cent move to the under. And on the money line, 33% of tickets, 70% cash on the Washington Nationals. Cheshire Cat says, am I the only one that thinks Irvin sucks? Oh, Goran, you don't worry. So I went down to Fort Erie just to stand 3 feet away from Sophia. So Cheshire, you think Irvin sucks because of a vividness bias?
Wait. Sophia, a female jockey? I didn't know there was female jockeys.
Really?
I didn't know. I thought it was only males. Really? I had no idea. Wow. I really had no idea.
Wow. So that's wild that you did, because you've
really. I honestly had no idea. I honestly really thought it was all males.
Let's just stay focused.
No idea.
Let's just stay focused. Yeah, that's unbelievable that you would say something like that. But let's just stay focused. So here, Jake Irvin is not the Jake Irvin of old. There's Guillermo Certucci in the house as well. Great to see you, G. Take it away for us here, Jose, because I imagine that you are on the Washington Nationals, and I want to fade Frankie Montas. But unlike the other pitchers that have been moved at the break, Frankie Montas falls under the Yusei Kikuchi umbrella, who aren't pitching that well. Take it away.
Yeah, so I'm going to fade Frankie. I agree with you there. The deal they got for Frankie, they just gave up Jacob Junis for Frankie Montas and someone else. Jacob Junis sucks. That other prospect probably meant nothing. They gave up nothing for Frankie Montas. I just think the Reds kind of knew there's no value in him. The Brewers kind of feel like they can revive Frankie. Prove it to me. I'll fade Frankie Montas here against my guy, Jake Irvin, who, you're right, has not been the same. But he is in my rotation. I think he's a good pitcher. I believe in the guy, and I will back him here. Yes, his last 2 starts, pretty good. 5 1/3, 2 innings, 7 innings, 2 innings. But that was coming off of 6 earned runs back-to-back starts. So I believe in the guy. Hopefully he comes through for us here. Give me the Washington Nationals here, money line. It is a little scary, obviously, in this price range. But Washington money line here for me.
What's the number you're getting?
I am getting plus even money, actually, even money. And yeah, shout out to you, Trisha. Trisha was the one that told me, so she said I could out her. So shout out to you, Trisha. We're on, and I wish you luck.
I'll be keeping a very close eye on all of that.
Yeah, I feel maybe I'm an ignorant asshole. I really had no idea that there were women jockeys. But it's nice to see all the horse racing people come out of the woodwork here.
No, you're right. You are an ignorant asshole.
15-1, by the way, is the horse. I just put 20 bones on it. So if you guys don't see me on Sunday morning, you guys know that the horse hit, and I'm just spending my riches everywhere.
And well, we know that Dutro has a rich history of juicing as well. It has Bogo. I love it, Trisha. Thank you. And Vitalis in the house, as well as Old E. What up, Old E? Great to see you. And Vitalis on the under 9.5 here. On the under 9.5. I feel like I need to fade Montas. I would just hate myself if I didn't. And this Brewers lineup's not hitting right now. So I'm going to be moving here. Ava says, what's a good site to view opening lines and public cash? We use the public cash. I use Action for that, but there's lots of different Action Network, but there's lots of different ones for that. And then for line movement, there are many, many sites that offer that. I don't really want to promote the one I use. But if you want to hit me on Twitter, I'd be happy to tell you. Okay. Coogee Cam in the house. Great to see you, Coogee. Okay, so Nat's first 5, I'll be on. I maybe even think first 3 might be a little more. Maybe he gets himself comfortable at some point. I imagine that he's going to be more comfortable in the heat. Sammy B in the house. Nice to see you, Sammy B. Let's roll on. Sammy B rocking with us, man. It's been too long. Too long, man. Too long.
I'm very interested in your take in this next game.
7:05 p.m. Eastern. Two pitchers that I watch very, very, very closely. The problem with Kevin Gausman is he just threw a complete game in 118 pitches. As much as I have been fighting with Mikey Money regarding whether or not he's a good pitcher, and Mikey's been betting first 5 overs in his starts. He's not been fading Gausman because Gausman's been fine. Gausman's been fine. Mikey, you haven't been fading Gausman, right? Because you admit if you've been fading Gausman first 5s, you'd be down a lot of money, wouldn't you? Right? Right, Mike? You'd be that's Mike, right? You'd be down if you were betting against him on first 5s, because I thought you stopped when the Red Sox took him out. He says that one day you got me with the Oakland spot. I mean, but you haven't been, right, Mike? You have not been fading Gausman first 5. You've been taking just first 5 overs because you were losing fading Gausman first 5. Right?
Jeez.
Mike?
First 5 over 5 here. It's pretty high. That's shocking.
Let's just go over it because I know he's not been fading at home. Okay, at home, he says he was fading his ass. Okay. All right. Did you fade him in his last start? Or was that one in Texas? Let's go over these starts. At home, he says. At home. Okay. Fading his ass. So at home, he covered in his last start. They were up 5-3 after 5 innings. So I hope you didn't last week. The one before that, start before that here, was a push. That was at home as well, Mikey, here. And then against the Giants, they covered easily, up 5-2 after first 5. So that's 2-0-1 against. I hope you haven't been, Mike, and I know that you haven't been. I know you're just trying to get under my skin, because if you have been fading Gausman first 5, you've been losing, Mike. You've been losing, Mike. And Gausman just came off a complete game, 8 strikeouts, 9 innings, and 7-3 win at home over the Rangers. The problem here is this is the first 5 spot. They've won his last 3 starts, Mikey, as well. 3 straight starts they've won as well. So I hope you haven't been doing that either. But if you have, I'm sorry. You should listen to us. This is his 4th start of the season against the Yankees as well. 4th start of the season against the Yankees. He's not been good against the Yankees. He's been very good on the road. 6-3, 2.34 ERA, 2.08 opponent's batting average. My dude has got his play today. It's Juan Soto over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs at -120. Says Soto destroys Gausman for his career, hitting over 500. And Stroman has not looked good, coming off that 11-8 extra inning win at the Red Sox. 3 1/3, 9 hits, 5 runs, 3 of which were earned. At home, 2-4, 4.47 ERA, 230 opponents batting average. The Jays are hitting right now, 252, 724 OPS versus righties. Nothing like what the Yankees are doing. The Yankees are smashing 261, 825 OPS since July 1st. And this Jays bullpen has been an absolute abomination. 6.11 ERA, 1.62 whip, horrific. Billy Friedrich moving on the Colorado Rockies at +163. Get that copied and pasted. And then we also have Slatsy, Soto over 1.5 bases, 7 for 13 with 2 doubles and a home run against Gausman. That's +135 over 1.5 total bases for Soto. Vital says Jace on the road, but he'll never back Stroman, so he is passing in this spot. So let's take a look at the line history here. Stroman, neither pitcher has looked good. Let's also take a look at the weather in New York. 86 Fahrenheit, 13.2 miles per hour right to left, and then heavy rain comes in. So does RotoWire think this game is going to be played? Let's just take a quick look here. They don't think this game is going to be played. I don't think this game is going to be played. We'll see how it all bangs out. But that's another real problem with the cap. Let's go over the line history, though, at least do the due diligence. These Yankees opening up at -156 are now -151. A slight move to the Toronto Blue Jays. And on the total here, we have it at 9 minus 118 to the over. This did go up to 9.5 for a little bit at 11:35 p.m. Overall, though, it's been a 22-cent to the move to the over at 9. But I don't think this goes in. I don't think we see a game in this
Seems
one.
like all the Northeast games are kind of fucked.
94% of tickets, 98% of cash on the New York Yankees. And on the total, you have 98 and 99 on the over. Take it away for us here, Jose. Stroman versus Gossman.
Yeah, honestly, I wanted to fade both these guys. I saw Troy said this one probably goes over. That's what I was kind of leaning towards, an over in this game. Gausman crushed in 2 of his 3 appearances against the Yankees so far, off of a complete game. I mean, it just seems like all the recipes for a fade here. This is the first game I think all year that I wish I kind of had same game parlay abilities. Honestly, because this just feels like Yankees over, Yankees money line, the over, and Juan Soto total bases. You just wrap those up together and you'll feel good about yourself later. But I can't do that, nor do I really want to. So I stayed off this game. But like I said, I was interested to hear what you say because you have both these pitchers under your thumb. You know them very well. So the lot of pitches for Gausman is the one that really just keeps me off. I was looking to back him here, but complete game, no thanks.
Same. Well, it's not as much backing Gossman. Fourth start against the Yankees is not comforting, but I want to fade Stroman as much as possible. So maybe
and Gausman's home road splits are a thing as well, as Mikey was trying to explain earlier. 6.39 home ERA to a 2.34 road. So,
I don't even know if we get through 5 in this game, but you'd have to think that over 5 opened up at 4.5. It was pretty heavily juiced to the over. That was 5:08 p.m. yesterday. Now it's still a decent 5.
But I expect all these games, I guess, to be rained out. Like the whole Northeast seems like RotoWire has this game, the Nationals game, Cleveland, Cincinnati, all in red. So everything in that area seems to be fucked.
All right, let's roll on. 7:10 p.m. Eastern, we have Baltimore Orioles 65-45, 31-20 on the road at the Cleveland Guardians 66-42, 34-15 at home. We're at Progressive Field in Cleveland, Ohio. We have Dean Kramer versus Carlos Carrasco. Carlos Carrasco has been lit up and smoked in these last 2 starts, and this line moving down was shocking, absolutely shocking. The first 5. This first 5 wasn't, obviously, because Carrasco's such a bum. This went up to 5.5 a bunch of times, sitting right now at 5, minus 119 over. So we have a 21-cent move towards the over. On the full game here with this one, we have a 9. And, this spent a ton of time, with no movement. Right now, we've had a 1-cent move to the under, which is a surprise. With how bad Carrasco is being. Let's take a look at the weather in the cash flow as well. Weather-wise here, 80 Fahrenheit, feels like 84, 7.4 miles per hour in, dies down to 4.8 miles per hour in. And when we talk about the cash for this spot, we have 97% of the tickets, 98% of cash on the over. The full game is not moving, 58-62 on the Baltimore Orioles. And Dean Kramer coming off allowing 1 earned run, 4 runs in total, but 1 earned run, 9-4 loss at home versus the Padres. On the road, he's been really good this year. 3.05 ERA, 174 opponents batting average. He's a very Jekyll and Hyde pitcher, though. Shout out to MMA Locker Room in the house, star of our Locker Room podcast for the big UFC Abu Dhabi card this weekend. Carrasco is a 5.36 ERA at home and a 3.07 opponent's batting average. Why do they keep bringing him out there? And as much as I want to say Guardians aren't hitting righties, 228, 650, the eye test tells me they are. Orioles 258, 769. Orioles bullpen 5.12 ERA, 1.27 WHIP, while the Guardians bullpen 2.40 ERA, 1.06 WHIP. Joe Yurkovich back in business with us as well. And Rodney Barton says Kobe Mayo getting called up from Norfolk AAA will be batting 8th tonight, playing 3rd if the game goes. T-Max says was on Cleveland yesterday, Baltimore today. Take it away for us here. Orioles, Guardians, Jose.
Yeah, I don't know. This again, I watched the Orioles get their hits ripped yesterday, and I'm just like, man, it just feels like the AL East is in a whole is kind of playing poorly. The Orioles haven't been playing great. The Yankees have picked up their shit recently. and the Red Sox aren't playing great either. So I don't know. I just kind of gone back and forth here. I didn't want to move on this game either, just because I think both these teams are very good. I mean, the Guardians have the best record in baseball, which, I'm sure if you bet Guardians' best record in baseball preseason, you get like plus fucking 5,000 at least. Who knows? But I just ultimately have to stay off these games and just watch and try to learn here. And I try to take notes for the playoffs here and think about what happens if these teams meet in the playoffs. But it's just nothing here that got me too interested. The rain, obviously going to be a factor. So I don't know what to expect from that either. But I did have this line opening up at minus 117 and dropping down for the Orioles there. So, I mean, if I had to put a gun to my head and bet the Guardians here, I probably would. But this is not a game I'm moving on, unfortunately. So nothing here for me. But I think Carrasco's not that much of a bum either. He's there to eat innings. Sure.
But you think he's not that much of a bum because of your compassion for his cancer diagnosis? Right?
No, I think that if the Guardians are one of the better pitching developing teams in baseball, and I just think they've got better arms in that or not, I shouldn't say better. I think they've got plenty of arms in the farm system, or they could cultivate guys like that, and yet they still stick with Carrasco. Like, Carrasco's pitching over Tristan McKenzie, for example. McKenzie's in the minor leagues right now trying to figure his shit out right now. And if the Guardians, who are the best team in baseball, known for the last few years, sure, they're frugal, but they're one of the best, analytics scouting teams in baseball, especially when it comes to pitchers. And if they keep throwing this guy out, they have faith in him.
They do. And they're such a smart group.
Sure. He's a, semi-charity case, former player that was there for a long time, good vibes, et cetera, locker room presence. But I think I do think they have faith.
I would, if there wasn't this huge move towards the Guardians, I would be fading them as well. It's a very simple look, and those simple looks in baseball, they don't give me a positive ROI. I'm going to be off this spot. Justin McKelvey on Orioles over 4.5, team total over 4.5. Let's move on. San Francisco Giants, Cincinnati Reds. I am nonplussed about this baseball game. I really wanted to watch these two lefties go because Kyle Harrison is pitching like they said he would. It's taken this long for him to start dominating. In his last 3 starts, 17 innings, 2 earned runs, 20 strikeouts. But do any other books have Kyle Harrison here?
I think that they're not. Well, first of all, the Giants obviously know what the weather is like. And if this game does go off, I think that he does not pitch because they don't want the stop-start bullshit to ruin his start day. So I don't think he goes, and I think they're going to throw a bullpen day to try to avoid, weather bullshit with him, honestly. And assuming this game goes.
But I don't have the weather as that much of a problem in this one. I think this game goes. I think there's just some light rain in the middle of it, but I guess that's what you're saying. He's on such a roll right now. Why mess with it? I get that. It's too bad. Kyle Harrison is bet on. He gets the big outs whenever he needs. I know he still walks too many batters, but he's coming off an 11 strikeout performance, allowing 1 earned run over 6 2/3 against a Rockies team that's hitting the ball. He's just a bet on pitcher. And Andrew Abbott's been going bad start, good start, bad start, good start. So he's coming off a bad start, which might mean he's got a good start in store. But the Giants are hitting 239, 760 OPS versus lefties. Reds 207, 655 OPS versus lefties. Giants bullpen is better, but the Reds bullpen's been quite good. So for all this said and done, I want the Giants. I wanted to back so badly here because you were going to get him. You were going to get Harrison as a dog because of Andrew Abbott's season-long performance. So it sucks. It sucks. I was very upset about this spot here. We will do the due diligence because it is available now at Pinnacle. Pinnacle doesn't list pitchers. Cincinnati opening up -115. Now it's -117. So a 2-cent move. And on the total here for this one, you have a 9.5 -113 to the under. Take it away, Jose. Any last thoughts before we move on from this one? Be well, T-Mac, my man. Great to see T-Mac in the chat. Love seeing you rocking with us, T-Mac. Respect, man.
Yeah. Shout out to you, T-Mac. Nice to see you as well. Yeah, no action. I think this will be an interesting game to cap tomorrow when they have a doubleheader, I'm assuming.
I really think this game goes again. I'll say it again. So we'll see how it bangs out. Who do you have starting for our next spot? Miami Marlins, Atlanta Braves. Do you have Valente Beloso? Do you have Sean Anderson? It is Valente
Beloso.
That's been confirmed now?
I had it listed on the books. I mean,
yes,
obviously.
It has. Okay, good. Perfect. Good. Okay, we have Valente Beloso here on the bump. Kind of a tricky pitcher to really get a great read on, but we have enough information on him. From Mexicali, Mexico, 24 years old. He's been up here. He's had 2 starts in the show, 10 innings he's thrown all together, and he's looked great. 10 strikeouts, 1 walk. I could tell you each of the starts. There was the June 26th start at the Royals. He looked excellent. 5 innings, 2 hits, 2 Ks, no walks, got through them. It was a 5-1 loss, but he didn't allow a run. And then the next start was at home versus Red Sox. Red Sox jumped all over him. 5 earned runs in 5 innings, but he did strike out 8. In the minors this year, he had 6 starts at Pensacola in AA, and then he went up and had 7 starts in AAA Jacksonville. And, the ERAs are similar. The whip's higher in AAA, but, he just walks too many batters, and he allowed 7 home runs in 34 2/3. I think that Valente Beloso is obviously vulnerable, but should the Braves with Spencer Schwellenbach starting, should they be a -300? That's, it's a pretty ridiculous number here for Schwellenbach. Schwellenbach coming off that great performance at the Mets, 7 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs, 4.06 ERA, 1.06 whip. Marlins are hitting harder than the Braves versus righties. And then the Marlins bullpen, 2.78 ERA, 1.13 whip, while the Braves bullpen, 2.61 ERA, 1.05 whip. I cashed the under pretty comfortably yesterday, even though the first 5 would have gone over. So let's take a look at the line history here for this spot and how hot it is in the hot land. 90 feels like 95. Not as hot as Washington. 8.8 miles per hour right to left across the diamond. Dice down to 6.1 miles per hour. Let's get into the line history here for this Braves spot. We have the total at 9 -116 to the under. There's been a 16-cent move to the under. I don't know why we wouldn't just bet it again. I guess the problem is Beloso. Schwellenbach opened up at -217, now -232. I probably shouldn't have said 300, but -232, a big favorite situation here, and the line moving towards him, but maybe it's a cash cow spot. And then from the cash flow, 95% of the tickets, 93% of the cash on the Braves, lines moving towards them at least. Then 79% of tickets, 75% cash on the over. So take it away for us here. Robert Franklin and Schwellenbach over 5.5 Ks. Big Scott on Braves team total over 4.5. Rant says Braves Marlins used to be over, but Marlins trade a lot of players. Maybe an under for him. Jose Bouquet, take it away for us here. We have the Marlins and the Braves.
Yeah, I mean, I think in every game, honestly, every game this year, if you bet the under in the Brave games, you'd just be satisfied. You'd be so happy with yourself. They're the best under team in baseball. Every single game I talk about the Braves, I think, I should just probably take the under here. And I'd say about 45% of the time I have been. And, it feels like it should be a lot more. But like I said, I like it in this game, exactly what I'm thinking of right now. I think I should take the under here. But I'm not going to. I'm just going to end up staying off watching. So now, Schwellenbach at this point, I said it earlier in the reports of the season that I wanted to fade these younger Braves pitchers. At this point, Schwellenbach has got enough innings under his belt that I consider him, at least like a competent enough starting pitcher that I don't want to just auto fade him anymore, honestly. And shout out to Nebraska, as we've talked about, a pitching factory apparently. 7 shutout innings against the Mets last time out. Do I necessarily want to back that either? No, not even. I mean, 7 shutout inning, 11 Ks, no walks, the best start of his career so far. I mean, again, you guys know me at this point. It's Marlins or pass, and under or pass. So but nothing here for me, so I'm off.
Hmm.
But it's just you're gonna back the guy after going 6 for 6 on threes, whatever the fuck, a 40-point game. No, I mean this is
Well,
just no way.
Schwellenbach's had 3 great starts over his last 4, and he's shut. Look who he's faced: Philadelphia, San Diego, St. Louis, and the Mets.
Yeah, and I just don't believe he can do it again here. I think this is a classic. Oh, I've done it against these fucking teams. This is the Marlins. I have to take it so mentally seriously, and the Marlins just get his ass. And get his ass like 3 earned runs over 6 innings would be still a good start. 4 earned runs maybe. But yeah, I consider a Marlins team total.
Interesting. I think the under is in play, but Beloso makes me uncomfortable. Can you give us Beloso's last 2 starts in the minors?
Yeah. And shout out to Beloso, who pitched against the Red Sox and didn't pitch, I don't remember him pitching too poorly here. So let's go to his last few starts here. And then, by the way, 5 earned runs against the Red Sox. That's why I was like, oh, maybe it wasn't. 8 Ks, 1 walk, though. So last few starts in the minors here, 28th, 5 innings, 8 hits, 5 earned runs, 4 Ks, 3 walks. On the 21st, 4 shutout innings, 7 Ks, 2 walks. And if you want the 11th as well, 5 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 4 Ks, 4 walks there. And his last start in the majors was in the 2nd of July. So he's had those 3 starts in the minors. Last one was shit, but the first 2 were good.
Okay. This is tough. So give me your guess on Valente Beloso's line. Is it 5 innings, 3 earned runs?
Yeah. I if that, and I would say not even the if that for like the earned runs. I would say more of the innings pitched. We just saw 5 innings, 4 innings is probably the max he's going. And the Marlins bullpen, who we all know just got pillaged, has Austin Kitchen, Declan Cronin, Jesus Tinoco, Anthony Bender, who's actually good, Andrew Nardi, and Calvin Fauché all did not throw yesterday, all expecting to be ready and raring to throw today here, I assume.
This is I kind of want the under 9.
I mean, it makes sense in every Braves game. 40-65 to the under this year. Best team in under in baseball. The next closest, 47-62, the Chicago Cubs.
All right. Let's roll on this one here. God, I kind of want the under 9. I don't see why Schwellenbach doesn't deliver again. I think the fact that he's home will push him here. Joe Yervis says, sounds like Atlanta first 3 minus a half. The problem is do you need to trust the Braves bats a bit? I mean, would it shock you if Beloso pitches okay? It wouldn't, because the Braves, if there's only 2 hitters hitting it, it's just Austin Riley and Matt Olson right now.
And yeah, again, they continue to be the best hitting, best under team in baseball for a reason,
Okay, I'm interested in this under 9. Very interested. Big O says Braves minus 1.5 seems like easy money. I just don't trust their offense enough. Let's roll on. We have Jose's Boston Red Sox in play here. Red Sox, Rangers, Globe Life Field, Arlington, Texas. The Red Sox 30-22 on the road. Better road record than home record. Cutter Crawford going up against Jose Urena, who just keeps delivering. I mean, it's just unbelievable. He's
earned a spot in the league next year.
But did you see his numbers at home? I mean, can we actually believe these numbers?
Now, the scary part about this is the line moved towards them as well, Jimmy. I'm assuming, I haven't looked at the splits in a little bit now. I mean, all the money in the bets have to be on the Red Sox here with fucking Jose Urena. Everyone thinks he sucks, and he goes up and throws up a 1.17 ERA at home so far.
Opponents are hitting 151 against him. That is in 38 in the 3rd innings.
That's a decent sample size.
Yeah, and I faded him once early in the year, and I stopped. I was like, look, this is not working. And Cutter Crawford has been great on the road. 3.07 ERA, 213 opponents batting average. He's coming off a tough start at home versus the Yankees. The Red Sox are just ripping the leather off the ball. 308, 903 OPS. Rangers is 232, 675. Troy Torrance's action is in Cubs money line, Braves versus Marlins under 9, and Twins Braves. So all in here for Troy Torrance. Let's get this here and set for Troy. Braves, Marlins under 9, and Twins and Braves together on the money line. So here we go. Red Sox bullpen, horrific, but they're destroying righties. Rangers bullpen has been pretty good, but they're not hitting. And then we have Jose Urena on the hill. So let's take a look at the line history and hear what Jose has to say about this one. We have the Rangers at minus 101. They opened up at plus 109. So 10 cents of movement towards the Texas Rangers. Still a dog, but a smaller run. And then on the total for this one, we have it sitting at a 9 minus 117 to the over. This opened up at 8.5, got up to 9. And then it was at 9.5. Now, not quite a legitimate one, plus 104 to the over, minus 117 to the under, but now it's back at 9. A half-run move to the over and a legit move towards the Texas Rangers. And when we take a look at the cash flow, we have 96%, I think it's 98% cash on the over. And we have 28% of the tickets and 52% of cash on the Texas Rangers and Jose Urena. Take it away for us here, Jose. Red Sox Rangers.
Yeah, this game kind of screams over, honestly. The Red Sox have been smashing the ball. But Cutter Crawford's been, semi-vulnerable recently, and it's been a little worrisome. But I lean over here. All the money on the over, predictably. The line went from 8.5 to 9. It's still a little bit juiced to the over now at minus 115, minus 116-ish. So yeah, this game screams over to me, honestly. And I don't know if I'm going to move on it yet. The shocking thing, the main factor that's keeping me off right now is, in fact, Jose Urena's home ERA. It's a little worrisome. So, some teams that he's faced at home recently and dominated, none of these are starts. He hasn't started since the 6th of January, February, March, April, May, June. So he's faced Baltimore at home, 3 innings, 1 earned run. San Diego Padres, 2 2/3, 3 hits, no earned runs. Baltimore again, 2 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs. The Mets, 2 innings, no earned runs. Royals, 4 innings, no earned runs. And these are all really good teams, playoff teams. So that's the thing that's, really keeping me off. His last start, a home start against the Tigers, we went 6 2/3, 1 earned run there as well. Tigers team obviously not that good as well. So yeah, this kind of screams Rangers to me, honestly. The line moving down. I just didn't move on this game, but I lean over.
Yeah, so they traded Lorenzen so that Urena would have a starting spot, right?
I mean, it's funny. They were going to trade him or Andrew Heaney, and I just think that I think both those guys are rentals, and I knew they thought that one of them was going to go there. And it's kind of funny that Heaney, after having a 4-10 record and pitching so shit, he's got himself back together and now on this team.
All right.
Steve Fehrenbach asking real quick about the units and betting. Jimmy, I know Jimmy bets to win a unit, I believe, right?
No, I have a scale, so I don't bet to win a unit. No, I want to be pushed towards dogs, and I find that being able to cash out more on a dog does push me towards staying away from bigger favorites and moving towards dogs. So I just think that mentally helps me. And then I have a different price point for each sport on, just my past success on them.
I bet. And I bet the same thing every time, Steve, for most everything. I bet just $25 on everything, and rarely I go up and over that. Like Cab saw me put in the $30 Teoscar Hernandez home run derby future, and he looked at me and was like, "That's the biggest bet you ever put in your life." Because he knows that I bet the same amount basically every time. So that's what I do. I find it to be easier, and I bet a unit or like a little over to win a unit, I guess is what I'm trying to say. That's what I do personally. So that helps me get on dogs in the opposite sense, because I'm, I guess, risking less to win more in that sense.
Yeah, I mean, when I there's so many different ways of handling things. You know, the biggest problem that's happened to me since I've been doing this publicly, you know, we're going on to year 7 here, is that before I did this publicly, I would hammer spots. With doing it publicly and doing it full time, my quantity of action skyrocketed and I stopped hammering spots. I really think that's hurt me in the long run, because your most confident spots, like that's why I made a point of hitting that Stampeders really hard, on Monday. I'm not taking advantage of it. It's something that is the only reason why I got the opportunity to do this in the first place, was because I hammered some spots and was successful with it. So I miss that. Really miss that. There's our guy, Fat Wally, in the house. Great to see you, Wally, my friend.
Yeah, shout out to Fat Wally, who never forget cashing out like 23K in one bet, whatever it was.
25, yeah, it was a thing of
25K. Shout out to you, Fat Wally. Fat Wally, I hope you got some like rims on your chair or something like that with your money. Sheesh.
What a great guy he is. I can't. I've got a bias against Jose Urena that I got to cut. You think Cutter Crawford is vulnerable here? Again, the Red Sox are hitting righties too hard. It just doesn't correlate fully for me. But I mean, the Rangers look to be clearly the side. I just, from a market standpoint, with the sharp action towards them and the line moving towards them, the low ticket count, the bigger bets. But
Red Sox have been scuffling as of late recently as well. It's been very worrisome, to say the least, as a Red Sox fan. Get swept by the Dodgers, lose a series to the Yankees, have to pull one out of your ass against the Mariners to win the series. Joe, you're right. Being selective is very important to winning. So I, maybe trying to do that a little more as well. Like I said, close to the over here. I really am, because I think that Cutter is just vulnerable here, getting later on in the season, and then Red Sox are very hot, and I just don't think that Jose Urena can cut them down. But Rangers do seem to side.
it's I think I'm going to move on the Rangers. I think I'm going to get to the Rangers. It's a 9-point game in Canada, Spain. Spain was right there with them in the beginning of this quarter, but now a 7-point game. It's very, very tight. Our action.
Fourth quarter?
Fourth quarter. Fourth quarter, 5 minutes left in the game. Canada up 7 on the Spaniards. And it's coming right down to the wire here. Right down to the wire. All right, let's move on to our next one. I'm going to move on the Rangers. I've done enough of it. I'm going to move on the Rangers. I'm going to be moving on the Rangers. Let's roll. Next up for us, we have the Chicago White Sox at the Minnesota Twins. We have Davis Martin with his first major league start. Came out of the pen for 2 2/3 and 6-3 loss at home versus the Mariners. Davis Martin, not a highly thought of prospect. So I got all these different pictures up here. Let's get up to Valente Beloso. Where the hell is Phillips?
Yeah, some of these names are just fucking hilarious. You've got Davis Martin pitching today, Tyler Phillips, Valente Beloso, our friend Joe Ryan. Some interesting names all going here today. This might be a minus 300 fade at this point, Jimmy. This might be our first minus 300 fade in quite a long ass time.
It has been a while here. Davis Martin, 14th round pick in the 2018 draft out of Texas Tech. This was not a highly thought of prospect. And, this is the time of year where it's not, earlier in the year when these guys bring up pitchers, they really believe in them. But this guy's earned this opportunity at 27 years old. In AAA this year, 7 starts. He's only thrown 21 innings. So, a very, very small since 2022. He's thrown 39 2/3 innings, but he's got good numbers, pretty decent numbers here. Davis Martin. Shout out to Cameron Sinnott in the house, shouting out Fat Wally with a big, giant $20 dono from our friend Cameron Sinnott. Thank you so
Shout out
much,
to you.
my man. Love it. Sorry. The market for BJ once more on the Rangers, Red Sox. Let me just hit you with this one here. God, sorry, I've got way too many things up now. Here we go. The market is 72% of the tickets on Boston and 48% of the cash. 48% of the cash. So we have Davis Martin going up against Joe Ryan. Joe Ryan has not looked that. I mean, he's being decent at home. 4.03 ERA. Last start, he allowed 2 earned runs, 3 runs in total, 2 earned runs, 8 strikeouts, 1 walk, and a 7-2 loss at the Tigers. The Twins are hitting 277, 834 OPS versus righty since July 1st. White Sox just 210, 589. And the Twins bullpen started to fall apart all of a sudden. Not as bad as the White Sox bullpen, but this is a pretty ugly baseball game here. 83 Fahrenheit, 7 miles per hour out to right field, then dies down to 4.6, stays out to right field. Coin saying Benintendi 412 and 17 at bats. Big O says the White Sox have to win at some point. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. We've heard this might be the 300 fade in play. This total is at 8.5. 8.5. This opened up at 8 and moved to 8.5 within 2 hours. And on the money line,
oh my gosh, L17. Holy fuck!
say what?
They've lost 17 straight. Holy
well,
fuck! I didn't realize it got up that high.
Then Minnesota is at minus 305. They opened up at minus 284, so 21 cents of movement towards the mighty Minnesota Twins. Chill Will, thank you. Cameron Sinnott and Chill Will, thank you guys, man. It means an absolute ton for your support. Truly, truly does. Thank you to Chill Will and the Cameron Sinnott. Means a ton, you guys. DC Capper has the Bookie Buster play today on Minnesota minus 1.5. And when we get to the cash flow for this one, we have 95% of the tickets, 99% of the cash on the Minnesota Twins, and on the total 89% of tickets, 91% cash on the over. This is the second time they've lost 14 plus, says our friend Saturated. Take it away for us, Jose. White Sox, Twins.
That's just so crazy to think about. Second time, and they broke their franchise record for most consecutive wins earlier in the season, and then they re-break it again. Man, it's just crazy. But all that's being said, as you guys know, there's no team in Major League Baseball against anyone that should be minus 300 or above. And when this happens, we fade them every time here. So, and by the way, L17, and this is the first game that it's come even close to the White Sox being minus 200 fade or minus 300 fade material. So, yeah, give me the White Sox here. They win their first game, first 5 full game Chicago White Sox here. And shout out to all the donations coming in. Cameron, appreciate you, my guy, with another $19.99 dono. Shouting out Mikey M and UPK Yash Allah. It's a hard name for me to say. 99-cent dono as well. Shout out to you guys. We need all the donations we can get to keep us rolling here. So shout out to you guys. We appreciate it. But yeah, I mean, I understand the White Sox aren't going to be a popular play. I understand that many people will make fun of me for betting them here. But, you know, stick to the system. Stick to the system. First 5, full game, plus 235. First 5, plus 258, full game.
Wow. First 5 was plus 235 and full game was plus 238?
258.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. Shout out to Cameron Sinnott, part of the Pimp Slap Army, and Mikey Money.
I'm worried about what you have to do to get inducted into the Army. Does Mike have to pimp slap you?
That's a good question. Or you have to sit on his lap. So
well, we all know. If that's the case, I'm first lieutenant.
Cost you $10 if you want to park. Do it. Jose, how much? Yeah.
That would have been the spot from the open hand slap you in the face. That would have been it.
He might have deserved. He might have been like, you know what? Fine. He might have had the right away, but
I know that the next time you try to sit on his lap, he will open hand slap you in the face.
Well, Jimmy, let's be honest. Yeah. Can you imagine anyone being this happy again?
Cost you
Daddy's
$10
lap.
if you want to park.
Do it.
But Jose, how much?
I think over time that smile's been wiped off his face.
He's
And I
just
think-
giddy. He's just sitting there, just happy. No one happier in that moment than Mikey M.
I think that you get an open hand slap in the face when you try that again next year in San Antonio, Texas. And I hope to be there to watch it. Hope to be there too.
I hope Mikey is too.
All right, Jose on the White Sox first 5 and full game for big giant scores. Let's move on. This I meant to actually get this bet before the show started, but I decided to move on Spain, and I put that bet in, and then it was running out of time before the show, so I didn't get to do everything here. I would sure like to get this day off on a winning start. That would be a very, very a nice feeling here. And shout out to all you guys that got the plus 12.5 live. And I didn't. I mean, I was already invested on the 9, but missing free throws at this point is a killer. This lead could stretch here very quickly. Sitting here with 2:18 left, 2:20 left in the game with 3-point game. Missing free throws. Mikey Money has said that your grandma can sit on his lap, though, Jose. So you're lucky because my grandma
would be interested.
My grandmas aren't alive anymore. I don't. All I have is this cachet.
Yeah, I was about to say none. I have none that are alive either, but at least we have these ladies. Thank God.
It's just this cachet here.
Fitness.
She's so
Look at
happy.
those abs.
She's so happy. She'll oblige. She's just.
She'll sit on Mikey's lap.
I imagine this is what the Hawk Tua girl will end up looking like. I think this is her.
And you know what?
What?
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone, all parties involved would be okay with that.
All right. Let's roll. I wanted to move on this one. Oh, Razor Sharp hoping to see her at the beach this weekend. I wonder what beach he will be going to, because we have a lot of options for you.
Sure.
We could.
There's some. Yeah. There's some that are bad.
No, but options all the same.
Yeah.
Because Razor wants to go to the beach.
I'd party with her. She parties.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd knock the sand out of her wheels.
Ooh, I like what we've done there.
I would knock it right off there. I'm going to the beach next weekend, so I'll try to see her as well.
Oh, I really like what you've done there. That's That's very impressive. Ken Mizrahi, thank you, man. Thank you. Truly, thank you. This is a group, a team, we're a squad here. 52 seconds left here. Spain with the ball, I think. Are they going to get the board? Spain with the ball down 3 with 52 seconds left. It's motivation, man. Motivation. I mean, this is the perfect tournament for it. And this will get me in the black on the tournament. This is going to be a very fun ending to this one. Okay.
Ricky Bobby, you caught me. Hands up. You caught me, Ricky. You caught me.
Okay. Let's roll on. It's hard to move on. I don't want
Yeah.
She is. She's got a match today in the Olympics.
Yeah. I'd watch.
Color
me interested. I'd stay after the rain delay for her.
You'd be crazy not to. No, I don't know why I end here. I don't know why I end here each time. Each time it's like I end here just because everyone's like, just move on, man. Just move on. This is not the way we should end it. Let's just.
She's a good water polo goalie.
With my favorite. This is my favorite. Here. We'll move on. And you guys know what I'm doing. She's my favorite.
Yeah.
She's great. Now, she's not happy with you. She's not. You have just said something, and she's going to show you how upset she is. Yeah.
Oh yeah, she can. She could nestle me up, just cradle me.
No doubt about it. All right. As I said earlier, I almost moved on this, and I kind of meant to. This. I need this fucking money here from this Spain spot, and it's these 5-point deficits are very nerve-wracking because you start fouling, game gets away from you. It's an abomination.
See, and when Jimmy does to quell that nervousness, that anxiety from these bets, he looks at old women.
I do. And I'm just waiting for our moment of serenity.
I know. Well, by the way, Joe pointed out something saying those glasses are huge. I might as well look again, right? I didn't notice the size of the glasses. You got to get a good look at them.
Yeah, big juicy glasses there.
Yep.
The stacks play of there we go. This is what we needed. Thank you, Justin. Get us back to business here. The stacks play of the day is in. It is the over 7.5 in Tampa, Houston. Shout out to our guy Justin.
Stacks.
We have the Wizard of Boz going up against Yusei Kikuchi. Ella handled the Kikuchi trade pretty well.
Oh,
she handled it pretty well. I was surprised. She was shocked though. Her eyes, like it was very fun.
I can't believe you didn't record it.
I probably should have. Her eyes just popped out. She could not. She didn't realize that was part of the business
trade.
Yeah.
The part that I'm most looking forward to parenthood is recording the instances that my son or daughter's heart gets destroyed by sports. I cannot wait for that shit.
Yes. The biggest mistake with all of that was when we told Ella that she was having a brother, not a sister, and she cried. And I had no idea that it was going to be that funny. I just didn't realize. I just wasn't thinking ahead of time. It would have been magic. But let's focus here on Kikuchi's first start. He's not been pitching very well. We are all still amazed at the bounty we got for Kikuchi.
It's incredible.
And the Rays are raking lefties. So I want the Rays first 5, but there was enough of a line. It was more expensive to get Kikuchi first 5 than full game. There was enough to give me pause. Let's see if that has changed here, because I would like to back the Rays first 5. The Rays open up at plus 140. Now they're plus 142. So 2 cents of movement here against them. On the total here, we are sitting here with a 7.5. We've heard Justin on the over. This opened up at 8, and it moved to 7.5 at 9:10 this morning. We'll get into the cash flow here on this one. We have 95% of the tickets and 75% of the cash on the over. You don't make a living fading the stacks play today, but 5% of the tickets and just 5% of tickets, 25% of cash on the under, and the line dropping a half run is appealing on the under. And then the Rays have 13% of tickets and 33% of cash. So the Rays are right in my wheelhouse. It's just, do we expect Shane Baz to have a good start? And I don't see why we wouldn't. I'm a believer in Shane Baz. Again, you need to talk about how the Astros do against heightened velocity. But the Rays are hitting lefties. Robert Franklin leading Rays first 5, and I want to go ahead and bet it. Take it away for us here, Jose Bouquet. It is 86-85 Canada with 3 seconds left. Ooh-wee.
Congratulations for your successes.
Well, no, let's wait. We wait for zeros before we slap ass. Jose, take it away. Rays Astros.
Yeah, I'm watching right now to hopefully see you. But I know you're like 60 minutes ahead with your fucking books. It's so funny to me that you don't watch the games. Like, you just look at the sports book just to get the instant updates, because no one's faster than the sports books. But
I am always watching 2 games at the same time. The best is 365, because you can just with the books that show you, because you just bounce around to each game. It's beautiful.
But yes, let's get into this game, because
before we do, because I really, really want to hear your breakdown on it. We must talk grandma here once more. Mikey is in. Your grandma is wearing your sister's panties again. Play of the day is in, and it is Miami plus 1.5 and the under 9 at plus 235. Mikey's been really cashing with these minus 1.5s with the under. So now plus 1.5 here. Coin saying Boz returning to his hometown tonight. That's such an important comment, Coin. Thank you for putting in it. I'd like Jose to touch on that as well. God, I keep thinking Arena is on the Marlins. I keep forgetting he's not there anymore. So here it is. So it's Valente Belozo. Well, that's going to help me bet the under anyways. So let's get into it. Talk about if you think Boz will overthrow pitching in front of friends and family. He's not the kid anymore because of going through Tommy John. So take it away for us.
It looks like SGA on the line. So should be 2 there. We'll see. All right. But I mean, Jimmy, he's on again, another guy that's both of our guys here, another guy that we both really enjoy, kind of in our rotations. By the way, Jimmy, your updated rotation, Kevin Gausman, Kyle Harrison, Trevor Rogers, Drew Thorpe, and Brandon Pfaadt, with Reese Olson and Patrick Corbin just sitting on the sidelines waiting to get called in. Waiting to get called in. Patrick Corbin did just get the boot during this show. We did make that edit here. Shane Boz is in mine. He's very good, I believe. He's had moments of not looking great, to say the least. It's been very frustrating at times as a guy that's been touting Shane Boz's glory here. His recent starts, 6 innings, 2 earned runs, great. 3 1/3 shutout against the Yankees, okay. The only reason that was okay because he went back-to-back against the Yankees and gave up 3 earned runs against the Yankees and 3 earned runs against the Rangers. But I've trusted the guy throughout the whole process, and I'll trust him here. This is a rare, very rare first 5 bet for me over full game recently as well. First 5 line movement. I'll start with full game, actually. Full game line movement opened up at -147, now up to -154 at Bet Online. Kind of the opposite here in first 5 land. First 5 opened up -165 Kikuchi, and it's gone down to -158. So that makes me feel better about betting the first 5 than full game here. I just don't trust Kikuchi here. I will try to fade all of these debutantes, I guess, to see how they do. But it's going to be interesting to see how the Astros change Kikuchi after this start. But Tampa Bay Rays for me, first 5.
I want to join you here. We're about to get into the ribeye play today. I just want to finish this thought here. I mean, it's 135 at 365 for the Rays full game and 140 for first 5. I wish it was cheaper. I wish it was 130 for first 5 just to give me enough confidence here.
Joe Griffin Canning did get the boot, Joe.
I care about the kid. I don't know why. It's so stupid. I hate it's the cappers that don't watch any sports and don't love sports, who are just trying to get an advantage in a CLV situation by using models. They will always I will always be jealous of them, because all I want to do is watch all these games, and then you have a pitcher comes off a back issue for a year and a half and gets the pitch. I get into it. We cashed Spain. We're off to a winning start today. It feels good. Wine Time cashing live with Spain plus 12.5. Kelly joining me on Spain. Wine Time also cashing the over 160.5. A lot of you guys jumped with us on Spain. Again, whenever you bet against your team, you have extra conviction to do so. Whenever your friends are betting against their team, that's when you should probably look at tailing. But it just that's how you start the weekend off. In the black, get some confidence, and let's have a giant Friday and a giant weekend. It was a fun cap. I want to.
Are you going to move on game 2 now?
I plan to. That's in an hour and 54 minutes. And we'll touch on that. Do you want to add anything to this first 5? Because I would like to join you. Do you have any feeling with Boz? I know, with my mom being a shrink, I obviously think about the I do think that there's an advantage here I think that there's a legitimate advantage with Boz not being a 22 or 23-year-old anymore. It took him a long time to get back and going again. I don't think he's going to be too revved up. But what do you feel about this spot? With
my concern is that he gets torqued up for a home return, I guess. But I trust the guy. I'm going to believe in him and stick with him first 5 because the Rays bullpen is a little scary now.
And look at Yordan Alvarez's splits. They're unbelievable. He just went an entire month without an extra base hit at home.
It's also very funny that, obviously we talk about Yordan being one of the scariest hitters of baseball, and he's not going to win MVP and not even going to come close.
No, but God, do I need the Astros to finish the job and get to this division here? It's very important.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not in a situation where I'm screwed if they don't, because I was just messing with the profits off of the Blue Jays season win total under. All right, I'm going to join you on the first 5, though. Did you think of taking it plus a half?
No. What is it plus a half? I didn't look, actually.
The first 5 plus a half. Now, it was minus 120 at 365, which is really expensive.
Wow.
But that told me that it's when it's really expensive, I always believe they make it really expensive for a reason. On the first 5 run line, the best lines available. I could get Pinnacles.
Yeah, my bet on line's minus 105. That's why I was shocked to hear minus 120 from you.
Well, let's see if that has changed then. If that's changed too much, that's going to make me nervous.
Yes.
So maybe
That's why when you said that, I was like, oh no.
Okay, well, I'll tell you exactly what it is, because if it's gone to minus 110 or minus 105, I'm gonna. But they always screw you on the 365 on these first 5s plus. No, minus 120. Okay, let's roll on. I won't bet it at 365. Let's roll on. Next up for us, 9:38 p.m. Eastern, with the New York Mets at the Los Angeles Angel Stadium, Anaheim, California, with Paul Blackburn making his first start as a Met. Do you think that it helps him to have his first start as a Met in Angel Stadium, a place he's pitched a lot?
Yeah, I think it does. I think West Coast, just having it be on the West Coast, I think is an important one. Because I don't know what Paul Blackburn did, but did he just stay out west? I'm sure he didn't travel back to New York and then come back out, right? I'm not 100% sure, but
he stayed out west, I believe, here. Oh, and we forgot. Sorry, let's go back to the ribeye here for a second. No, Coin. I've always said in hockey, we talk about all the time, never to turn a dog into a favorite. I've always talked about it. But what happens to me is, first off, I have a high ROI on the first 5 plus a half, and it's not as good as it sounds. Those spots, if I had just taken the first 5 money line, I would have a little bit higher ROI. The thing is I ask myself, would I have made the bet on the money line? Did I need that first 5 plus a half? Now, I would never do it over minus 115 or so, but is that the only reason why I made the bet? This is only a baseball thing too, and it's only a first 5 plus a half thing as well. You know that I have never in my entire life, and this is a fact, I've never in my entire life, no, I'm probably nothing, taken a plus 1.5 in baseball or hockey in my entire career. In my entire life, I've never bet that ever. But it's just these plus a halves, and it's a good point that you bring up. Okay, let's go back to the spot. So we have Blackburn pitching. His last start wasn't very good, and it was right here against the Angels. So does that help that it was a bad start?
Yeah, that's exactly.
Coin, it just comes down to, I wouldn't have made the bet on the money line. The only reason why I made the bet was because of the plus a half generally. But you were right.
Are you taking the plus a half in Tampa Bay?
Sorry?
Are you taking that in Tampa Bay, or are you just taking the money line?
I don't know yet, because I also want to back Joey Estes first 5 like Clint Zerlgan. And I thought about taking them both first 5 plus a half. If I only took the Rays bet, I might do it. But if I'm going to bet both of those, I can't take the first 5 plus a half, because if you win one and lose the other, you lose. I would have to take them on the money line. So these are decisions that I have to make.
Yep. And real quick, her guy, I don't know if this was serious or not, Saturated, asking Caleb Williams touchdowns or White Sox wins. White Sox wins comfortably, Saturated. If you gave me minus 10 for White Sox wins over Caleb Williams touchdowns, I'd still take White Sox wins.
Let's talk about this very interesting spot. I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen this. So Blackburn is going up against the exact same team he just went up against last start, but pitching for a different team. Both in the same ballpark, same team. It's a very fascinating story. Now you could say the good thing is he didn't pitch that well, but I don't know. First, I don't know. Tyler Anderson on the other side, he's had a great season. 2.96 ERA, 1.14 WHIP, coming off a great start. 7 innings, 3 earned runs, 10 Ks, 1 walk, and a 3-1 loss at home versus the A's. At home, he's got a 3.88 ERA. He's been better on the road. 240 opponent's batting average. This is the time of year where it's like a highway going out to center field. The ball just flies when it gets hot in Los Angeles, and it's so hot. This is the hottest it's been at first pitch of a night game this year. 83 Fahrenheit, 8.4 miles per hour to right field. So the ball will be flying. Wine Time Sports, Chicago St. Louis under 8, minus 115, and Angels money line at plus 124 Wine Time. He's off to a 2-0 day, cashing the over and cashing the live spot on Spain at plus 12.5. So Tyler Anderson going up against a Mets team that doesn't hit lefties as hard as righties. 247, 752 OPS. Angels rating 236, 51 OPS. They hit righties much harder than they hit lefties. Mets bullpen struggles, but Edwin Diaz is very, very good. 4.97 ERA, 1.29 WHIP. Angels bullpen's pitching very well. 2.94 ERA, 1.13 WHIP. Let's get into the full line history here for this one. Sorry, move over here. On the money line, we have the Angels at plus 117. And we got to get into the moment of serenity for the ribeye. And I apologize. It's an important part of the show, so we will definitely get there. There's been a very slight move to the Angels. We'll get there right after this. There's been a very slight move to the Angels. And on the total here, we have a 9.5. This opened up at 9 and it moved to 9.5 at 10:09 this morning. It's juiced to the under. You can still get a 9. And when we get to the cash flow here on this one, we have 79% of tickets, 73% of the cash on the Mets. And on the total, we have 91% of tickets, 93% cash on the over. Shout out to our guy, UPK Yashala. Thank you for the dono. All you guys for supporting the channel. It means so much to us. Truly, truly does. Thank you. Take it away for us here, Jose. Blackburn's first start is a Met at Angel Stadium.
Yeah, again, I think that Paul Blackburn, of all the pitchers that got traded, I think he's kind of in a spot that could pitch the best. But it doesn't mean that I want to back him still, honestly. Wine Time being on the Angels, a little concerning. But I definitely did look that way. 79% of the bets, 73% of the money on them, like you said, and there's not been a much movement, if any, on our friends at Bet Online. Opened up at minus 125, is now down to minus 124. Actually got down to minus 116 at one point. Am I still on first 5? I am. That's classic. Full game actually opened up at minus 130, now down to minus 128. So not much movement there. So I do think that Paul can pitch well here. You mentioned his last start against the Angels. Again, 4 earned runs. I believe in the zigzag theory, but I also think that he could easily go out there and just do the same thing, because I think that in these like trade starts, their first starts, I think they just kind of do what they've done all year. And then when they get back the results with the new teams break those results down and make the changes from there. So I'll be interested to see how it all, bangs out and all that good stuff. But I'm going to end up staying off this game here.
I'm not. I'm going to be on the Angels first 5. Angels first 5. It's, obviously it's going to be more expensive than the full game with the way Tyler Anderson's pitching. But I also, even though I like the Angels bullpen, I want to cut the game down from 9 to 5. I do fear the Mets bats late, even if the Angels have a better bullpen. So I like this. I'm going to have a lot of night action here because I like the Rays first 5. I like the Angels first 5. And I'm really interested in the A's first 5 as well.
Something to make you bolster you as well. We've obviously seen the Mets all season kind of hitting lefty, second best all season. But since the All-Star break, the 19th to today, 112 plate appearances, small sample size, sure. They are 27th in the league right now, 73 weighted runs created plus. So struggling against lefties right now are the Mets.
I like it. UPKS also Angels first 5. Oh no, Angels first 5 and full game over. It says hold them nuts. I like it. So we got best bets coming in from our cappers in the chat. We got both razor sharp picks and Mikey money involved. Let's get to our moment of zen. Yandy Diaz, I love. He's on the ribeye play day plus 225 for a ribeye. I love what Yandy Diaz has done in the minors to get this opportunity. Just he puts in the work, and one of my favorite players on the Astros, maybe my favorite player. Ribeye play of the day is in our moment of serenity. Jose was good enough now not to put up the play because it blocks what we need to see. Yeah, I think we need if we could, if it's very difficult, but if we could get my face to kind of pop out of a bush, just like a little peek there. I think that might.
I thought you were gonna say we need more asses.
Well, that is true too. But I wouldn't mind if my head just kind of peeks out near the very end of that take. Just a little peek. I'll
see what I can do.
Thank you. That is thank you, Raymond, my man. Oh, nice. Look at 11-2 in the Olympic hoops, Raymond. Nice, man. Respect. So we have a look there with Yandy Diaz is the ribeye play today, and we have the Gamblers First Glance, Brewers Nationals under 9. It also feels like this Gamblers First Glance, he could be taking an extra look at the chef, the stream chef, the river chef. Shout out to Gamblers First Glance. It is the under 9 in Brewers Nationals. Let's get that set up here. This was a tricky card, and I really feel it coming together. And Jose's on the Nationals full game. I'm on the Nationals first 5 in that one, and I hope my fade of Montas works here. Okay, let's roll on to our next spot on the board. And that takes us to the Colorado Rockies at San Diego Padres at Petco Park in San Diego, California. We have Austin Gomber going up against Randy Vasquez. And we have already seen, we have some of our best bets that have come in. We have seen a best bet from our guy, the Dapper Capper, and he's on Gomber under 17.5 outs. Gomber under 17.5 outs at minus 130 for our guy, Joey Marinaccio. Austin Gomber, 2-7, 4.79 ERA, 1.32 whip. Now, he has been the best live bet in the league. He can't get through the lineup that first time. He gets destroyed, and then he locks in and shuts down. So keep an eye on that for all of these Gomber starts. 3 2/3 last start, 3 earned runs, 6 Ks, 1 walk, 5-4 loss to the Giants. He's not been very good. 5.73 ERA, 296 opponents batting average on the road, worse on the road than at home. Going up against Randy Vasquez, who got lit up and smoked at Baltimore in his last start. He's been really good at home, which is a surprise. 3.44 ERA. Now opponents hitting 287 against him. 5 home runs. And Joe Thompson, best bet is the over 9 in Yankees Blue Jays, which makes a ton of sense. I still want that over 5, first 5 over 5, but I am a little hesitant with the market, but that's not scaring Joseph Thompson, who's been absolutely crushing. Shout out to Joseph Thompson, JPZ. Joseph Thompson have been crushing on the Sports Money YouTube channel. And respect to you guys, man. Love to see it. So here we go. Rockies, Gomber versus Vasquez. Rockies versus righties, 270, 809. Padres versus lefties, 295, 838. They're raking. Both bullpens have struggled, even though there's a belief that the Padres bullpen is going to step up. So that is Rockies, Padres, Gomber versus Vasquez. Let's get to the weather here in this one. Weather-wise, we have 75 Fahrenheit, 8.2 miles per hour in. That's warmer than usual for these night games in San Diego. Getting to the line history and the cash flow. Line history-wise on the total, we have this sitting at 8.5 minus 111 to the under. This opened up at 8. That surprised me. That really surprised me. I really felt like they put out a line that they knew would be bet towards the over. And then we have the Padres at minus 183. They opened up at minus 174. That tells me that Vasquez is a bounce back possibility here. 97% of tickets, 98% of cash on the over, which was expected when it pops an 8 out with these 2 gas cans on the mound. 93% of tickets, 93% cash on the San Diego Padres. Take it away, Jose Bouquet. Gomber, Vasquez, Rockies, Padres.
Yeah, I think I'm off this game too. Austin Gomber, obviously, I have a fondness for him for being a king of the first 5 innings last year, but you mentioned it perfectly there about him being it's just his numbers are just crazy. If you look at him on Baseball Reference, first time through the order compared to what they normally would be with everyone else, obviously. Typically, people do a lot better first time through the order here, but not all our guy Austin Gomber here. But ultimately, I just had to stay off because, like you said, I don't know what to what to expect from him, what to expect from the first time through the order. So if you're watching the guy and you see him and he's like, wow, I'm, starting to figure he's like pitching well. I'm like, okay, then I can actually start to back him here. Sure. But till then, no. I'm looking at his times facing opponents in game stats now on Baseball Reference. First plate appearance in game as a starting pitcher. His ERA or his batting average 291, so almost hitting 300, almost an 836 OPS there. Now, second time through the order, hilariously enough, 272 batting average. For whatever reason, it is worse. And then third time through the order, 242. So if he's pitching well and gets through that first time through the order, you know that he's going to have a good start. But I can't ultimately trust him here. Nothing here for me so far.
The Padres are just hitting lefties so hard. Now, it scares me, when Stephen Hairston says, watch this, these are the games that the Padres lose. It scares me.
Yeah.
He's often right when he delivers these things in the chat. What I want to do here, because I do have interest with the way the Padres are playing, and maybe this is a very public mistake that I would be making. But they have a huge bullpen advantage. They're raking against lefties. So I just want to look at what Vasquez has done after terrible starts this year. And then I will decide if the -1, because they're also at home. And I know a lot of people don't like the -1.5 line, but I like the -1 line a lot at home because you get the much bigger price. Because if you're right, then they only have 8 at bats. So he got lit up at Colorado in the thin air against this. Wow, so this is the third time he's faced these guys this year, and they've destroyed him. Why did this open up at 8? I got to get off it. The last time he got destroyed for 6 runs, he came back at home against Milwaukee and threw 5 scoreless innings. That is appealing. And he was actually pitching well. He had thrown in 5 straight games, twice he allowed 2 earned runs. In 5 starts, he allowed 5 earned runs before allowing 6 against the Orioles. He was pitching better, and then he just gets lit up and smoked. He probably pitches better here. I'm going to leave the Padres -1 as a possibility. Padres -1. Okay, the Padres, again, they're only 28-28 at home, and I'm going to have Stephen Hairston. You know what? I'm going to put Stephen Hairston's comment above it, so I'll be looking at it. And make sure I have the conviction to make the bet. So you're off that spot, Jose.
Yeah, Rockies would be my side if I had to pick one. Just, everyone knows that I'd rather have the dogs in those situations, though. So UBK says, I believe the Rockies steal tonight, guys. They 5-2 last 7 on the road. They look strong on the road at home. First 5 over 3.5 full game there. Money line for Rockies for UPK.
Londo, that would take study. I do not want to give you players off the top of my head. That's just not responsible. I would need to study that. I can tell you, the number one hitter in Major League Baseball right now is not Aaron Judge. It's Vladimir Guerrero.
He doesn't hit home runs, apparently.
His numbers are just disgusting right now. So, now,
I'll let you, Londo. I'll give you something real quick. Here are the best batter versus pitcher numbers. These are the most home runs against these pitchers, I guess. So Gausman has given up 5 home runs to Judge, the most of any batter to any pitcher today. So you can be interested in him. Salvi Perez has hit 3 home runs off of Skubal in 24 plate appearances, 333 batting average. Very interesting. And our guy, William Contreras, 9 plate appearances, 2 home runs against Jake Irving. Or you can take Mike Stanton, 2 home runs and 21 plate appearances against Kevin Gausman there. So there are a couple there for you.
I think so, Joe, but I'm going to need more time on that. And the Chillis says letdown spot for the Padres. Buddy Black always gets over on his old club. Colorado money line is the play. All right, let's roll on. We got 2 games left on today's card, and we have our first special guest coming to us from Dallas, Texas, the host of Medicate Mondays every Monday at 11 a.m. right here on Pub Sports Radio. Please welcome the Magic Man, Mr. Daby Cab, to the show. Daby, how are you?
Good, guys. Ready to rock and roll, man. I have a couple other bets. I've been listening to the whole breakdowns today. I've been sitting here the whole time. I got some other stuff I might add, but if I do, I'll let everyone know.
Well, let's roll here. 2 games, the final 2 games on the card, and they're fascinating spots that I can't wait to talk about. 9:40 p.m. Eastern with the Los Angeles Dodgers 63-46, 29-26 on the road at the Oakland A's 45-65, 26-27 at home at Oakland Coliseum in Oakland, California. Let's get to the weather here. 70 Fahrenheit, 7.8 miles per hour out to right field, dies down to 7.4, and it's warmer on the West Coast than usual. Let's get into the line history and the cash flow to hear best bet from Mr. Cadabra. We have the A's at plus 129, just a constant move towards them. They opened up at plus 141. 12 cents of movement towards your Oakland Athletics. On the total here, we have it's sitting at an 8.5 minus 109 to the over. Open up plus 101 to the over. So 10 cents of movement to the over. Take a look at the cash flow in this one. We have 86% of tickets and 100% of the cash on the Dodgers with the line moving away from them. On the total here, we have 95% of tickets, 96% cash on the over. Gavin Stone, 9-4, 3.34 ERA, 1.26 WHIP. Now throwing 107 and 2/3 innings. His last start at the Astros, 6 innings, 4 earned runs, 2 jacks. On the road, he's 6-3, 3.19 ERA, 243 opponent's batting average. Joey Estev's last appearance was on July 26th. It was at the Angels. He went 2 2/3, didn't allow a run. His last start was July 21st, also against the Angels. He's faced the Angels a lot this year. July 21st, 8 hits, 2 earned runs, 4 Ks, and 2 walks. At home, he's just been lights out. 2-0, 2.12 ERA, 215 opponent's batting average. He's allowed 2 jacks in 34 innings. He's only walked 4 batters. He threw that 82-odd pitch no-no. I want the A's. I want the A's first 5. Take it away, Daby Cab. Your thoughts, Dodgers days.
Yeah, I haven't given anything out on this, and I'm not going to. 100% of the cash on the Dodgers and the line moving against them. I thought this is a good spot for Gavin Stone, somebody who's, getting up there in innings. There's a bounce back theory with pitchers, right? Between that 100 and maybe 107, 150 inning period where he's right in between right now, you're going to see that regression, but there's always a short bounce back for a couple starts. And I believe in that. And I thought this was a perfect spot against the A's for him to go out there and get a much needed solid start. It'd be one thing if the Dodgers were just cruising along, but they're not, right? They've lost 4 of their last 5 games. They're not playing great baseball right now. They've got injuries. They need a win. And I think this was a perfect spot for Stone to bounce back. I like the Dodgers first 5 on the run line here. I don't think I'm going to make it official, not with 100% of the cash on the A's and the line moving the other way. I think that would just be irresponsible to give that out to people.
I get it.
It's the same thing. Like, so we talked about, with the Royals yesterday. I thought it was for Lugo. I thought it was the same situation, because Stone's had a great year. Like a 3.34 ERA. I don't have it pulled up. Hold on. Yeah, 3.34 ERA, 9-4 on the season. But 3 of his last 4 starts, he's given up 4 earned runs. So I'm gonna say it again. Who do you want to pitch against when you're struggling and you're trying to get back on track? The Tigers, the A's. This is where I'd want to be if I was Gavin Stone, and that's why I like the Dodgers' first 5 here.
But the A's are hitting righties harder than the Dodgers since July 1st.
That's okay.
But I don't feel like, do you still feel the A's are the team? Like, do you compare them to the Tigers? And I mean, they're hitting lefties harder than any team in the league, and they're top 5 against righties.
I don't know if I would compare them to them like it's apples and oranges, man. Baseball is such a wave. It's such a wave when it comes to hitting and everything. That's it was just a couple weeks ago you were telling me how bad Vladimir Guerrero was at hitting, and now best hitter in the league, right? This is baseball. This is baseball. I don't know how else to say it.
Yeah, they all talk about it when he cut the haircut. The haircut changed everything for Vladdy. Thank God. But thank God for him. Not that the family needs any money. But this is a contract year, and thank God. Jose Bouquet, Dodgers A's.
Best bet of the week, Oakland A's. I'm on them first 5 and full game now. I took full game before the show, plus 129. I'm adding first 5 plus 120 onto the program. It is scary going up against the waffle play of the day. That is always a scary proposition. But
I mean, not that I'm keeping count, but you faded me every fucking time I've came on here the last 3 weeks. And you've gone 0-3 and I've gone 2-1 on those. Somehow we both managed to lose one of them.
Okay, well that's lovely. I'm glad. I don't know how we both managed to lose one of those bets. It does not make sense to me.
That's the worst case scenario. I hate that so much.
Yeah.
Oh, that's happened to me too before. It's just you can't. Oh God, when one guy's got the first 5 in full game and you both fucking lose, it's just horrific. Jose doubling up on the A's first 5 full game. Do you want to add anything to that before we get into our final game of the card? And we have swimming. Don't forget, we are swimming. We're swimming in heats, 3 heats till the final 9 swimmers. Anything else you want to add, Jose?
No, I just woke up and I knew this is the best bet on the card because I woke up and I just looked at this line and I just knew automatically. This is the fishiest line in the world. Minus 150 for the Dodgers against the A's here. This should be in a normal day, minus 175, 200-ish. No way. This is just too fishy. And like you said, all the money on the Dodgers. We're still going down to make it easier to bet the Dodgers. This is just an Oakland A's day. Does it mean the Oakland A's are better than the Dodgers? No. But today they will be.
I like it. I like it a lot.
And by the way, it is terrifying that no Mason Miller, no Lucas Ursig. So we have a bunch of slapdicks out there trying to close baseball games for the Oakland A's now. So that is going to be terrifying at the end of this game. Partially why I bet first 5 as well.
Mikey Money says this is a line due to recency bias. I hear that, but the big move towards the A's even further is eye-opening. But I hear what you're saying, Mikey.
I want to answer Clint in our chat, Jimmy. Sure. He said, do the Dodgers are playing like shit and they're going to play in Oakland. Do they get up for this? That's exactly why I wanted to bet this game, because 9 times out of 10, the answer would be no. But when you're losing baseball, it doesn't fucking matter who you're playing. It doesn't matter what's going on. You want to win, and they've been losing. So I promise you the dugout wants to win. Does that mean they're going to? I don't know. But this, for me, seemed like a good situation to take the Dodgers, especially in the first 5.
No, I hear you. Let's talk about the final spot here on the board. Shout out to Kong's Clips, Kong Smash of the Week, Magomedov, Shara Magomedov, and Umar Nurmagomedov. Parlay at minus 120.
You did really well in the first one earlier in the show. That one was not as good, but you did it. You got it.
I got it finally. Took me a second. No, Top Crocodile. He is not at this point betting the Dodgers. Maybe that changes here, but he's not betting the Dodgers at this
Well,
point.
Cab has a great record when I fade him, apparently. So don't worry, that bet's cashing for him.
I've only kept up with the last 3, and you faded me a bunch, so I don't know what the actual record is.
Philadelphia Phillies at Seattle Mariners. Now, we had the great Mr. Sean Higgs come in here and give us the under 8 in this one. And I was surprised, and I've been thinking about it for quite some time, because I get how good Tyler Phillips is, but he's coming off being spectacular. The last time we saw a young pitcher who wasn't supposed to be, didn't as highly thought of prospect as Tyler Phillips, was Gavin Stone. Gavin Stone threw a complete game shutout against the White Sox, came back home, and we faded him and we cashed. And obviously, I'm thinking the same thing here. He threw 105 pitches, and 85 was his previous high in the start before. I mean, it's a lot to add. He was perfect. He was spectacular. 9 innings, 4 hits, 4 Ks, 1 walk. Going up against Brian Wu. Brian Wu has great numbers, but he has been dealing with injuries. He's not been striking out as many batters as usual. So he left his last start after 4 innings. He left his last start. Discomfort in his right hamstring. He wasn't expected to miss the next start, so it wasn't that bad. He was removed after 70 pitches, and they're saying he's fine. Okay, he's fine. But this is the exact same hamstring that sent him to the IL mid-June. And that was his 3rd start since being activated from that hamstring injury. I found it very difficult to not think that this is going to be in his head. Phillies are not hitting righties, and Mariners are not hitting righties. Now that's changed a little bit. Phillies versus righties, 228, 683 OPS. Mariners versus righties, 211, 677 OPS. That's since July 1st. And then the Mariners have this huge bullpen advantage. So let's talk about the weather here. This is our final game on the board before we race. 77 Fahrenheit, 7.8 miles per hour to right field, dies down to 6.5 miles per hour. Let's get into the line history here for this one. We have this total at 8. It opened up at 7.5. Oh, sorry, it opened up at 8. Sorry, it opened up at 8, got up to 8.5, and then dropped down to 8, which has been for some time. It's got up to 8.5 at around midnight, and it was bouncing back and forth around midnight. But now it's at 8. Overall, though, we've had 14 cents of movement towards the over. 14 cents of movement towards the over. And on the money line, we have the Mariners at minus 108. They opened up at minus 118. That's a move towards the Philadelphia Phillies. And when we get to the cash flow to set this up for Daby Cab, we have 94% of tickets and 91% of cash on the over. Sean Higgs is not. He is on the under. Shout out to Mr. Higgs. And on the money line, we have 33% of tickets and 86% of the cash on the Philadelphia Phillies, telling us that it's going to be no problem. Tyler Phillips will do this again. And Stephen Harrison said, I had to do it. I got on the Phillies with everyone on Seattle. I didn't know everyone was on Seattle. Let me go back to that here. 69% of tickets, but just 18% of the cash. Phillies clearly the sharp side with the line moving towards them. Take it away, Daby Cab. Best bet, Phillies, Mariners.
Yeah, I don't got a waffle on this one. Look, I do understand the theory, but behind not wanting to get behind a pitcher after throwing a complete game. But you got to understand that he's coming off 15 innings without giving up a run, not just that 9-inning start. He's actually gone his last 15 without getting up a run. And, you're not going to hear me talk about when I pitched a lot, but I did throw back-to-back no-hitters in my career. It was probably the coolest thing that I did in my pitching career. And it's doable. I think it's more the fact that we see the letdown the next start simply because it's that hard to throw a complete game. It's not because the pitcher actually
Can I ask a question about your back-to-back complete games? Was it at the same field, same stadium, or did you travel?
It was at the same stadium. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's a good question. That's a good point to put out there. Yeah, it was at the same stadium. So, and here this is Phillips' 3rd stadium in a row. So, he was at Pittsburgh for the 6 innings where he gave up no run, and then Cleveland when he went to the 9 innings. I'm a believer in Phillips. I think his stuff is outstanding. I think, he's still fresh enough in his innings. He's still low enough, and people haven't really got a track record of him. They don't know what to expect. I mean, we see this, especially a lot with the overseas pitchers that come in. It takes a while for teams to, get the sequencing of a pitcher to really understand how he's going to attack the hitters and things like that. And, the Phillies, they've been struggling. I get it. They haven't been hitting the ball. They've been losing. And I think they took the game off against the Yankees the last game. I think they just said, we're facing a lefty and we're going to sit our best 2 right-handed bats. The fuck was that? Very confusing for me to see the Phillies do that. I think maybe they pressed the reset button right here. And I think today they come out fully charged, fully loaded, ready to go. Like I said, we're healthy. I like the Phillies here. I took their team total over. Only problem is it moved. So I was going to ask you to line shop for me a little bit. I got no problem taking a 4 or something like that to get better juice here for my official bet. I just need to know what's available out there.
Sure. Let's grab this for you. The team total for the Phillies over 3.5 minus 140.
See, that's what I don't want because I got minus 125.
That's a big difference. That's a big difference. Let me
chat if you can help here because I don't mind. Like I said, I don't mind taking a 4 in this situation. I got no problem with that.
Well, we can build the 4 here. So we talked about Tyler Phillips. You didn't talk about Brian Wu. What do you think about the hamstring issues? You're fading him here. Talk about Wu.
I think it's very, you hit the nose on the head. This is the same thing that sent him on the injury list last time. It's the same exact hamstring. It's the same exact spot. I think it's pause for concern here, especially the fact that he came out of the game. What would you say it was after 75 pitches?
70. 70.
I think it's cause for concern here. Definitely. Again, the Phillies, as much as they've struggled against right-handed bats, they should be loaded and locked today. I really think this is a good spot for them. They took the day off the last game against the Yankees. They hit the reset button. I'm telling you right now, they hit the reset button. They did it in the dugout. They talked about it. They're coming out ready to go today.
One thing I failed to mention here, and we'll get back to business right away, is Joseph Thompson made Sturgis. He's spreading his father's ashes. Mantle Mays Morgan saying, go to Badlands at sunset. It's beautiful there. I know this is a real heavy week for you, Joseph Thompson, and just sending love your way and love capping with you, man, and really respect what you're doing over at Sports Money, and just wanted to mention that we love capping with you, man. You're a great part of the fam, and respect and love. And I know it's a heavy week for you. Here in this spot, Jose, what struck me was, we talked about this total going from 8 and 8.5 for a cup of coffee. It wasn't that. It was that this. Oh, sorry. That's what it did, right? Let me just go over this again because I thought did it go from 7.5 to 8? Sorry, because that's a big difference. I thought it went. Sorry. Let me just do this here. Yeah, 7.5. No, it didn't. It opened. I guess it opened up at 7.5 at Bet Online, but opened at 8 here, juice to the under. Went up to 8.5 for a little bit.
That's why I was hoping I could get a better number if people were able to look around for me because the total's been moving, man.
Well, the first 5 though at 4.5 surprised me. I wonder what Bet Online opened it at here. It had to be, and even they opened it up at 4.5. They opened up the first 5 at 4.5 when the full game opened at 8, or sorry, at 7.5 over there. That's a very high first 5, especially when you look at you have a 1.8 ERA, 2.35 over. And Joe Yeager says first 5 over in this game is a nice look. That's what I have here. First 5 over ? That's what I have here. Let's hear what Jose has to say. Phillies, Mariners, take it away.
Yeah. So, I romanticize baseball right along there with you, Jimmy. I was interested and continuing and riding this Tyler Phillips wave as well. He's a Phillies fan, which has, I guess galvanized the fan base with him. He grew up a Phillies fan, comes to be pitch for the Phillies, pitching well, great story, et cetera, et cetera. Another good story. If you guys missed this, by the way, I think you mentioned that Colby Mayo is being called up today, Jimmy. Colby Mayo, survivor of the Parkland shooting in Florida, was a sophomore when that shooting happened in Florida. Killed 17 teachers, students, whatever it was. He survives. He's making the major leagues today. So I was like, man, how am I not going to bet on him in some form or fashion. But obviously, romanticizing baseball is one of those things that leads you down a treacherous path when it comes to gambling. Because, as someone once said, there's no fairy tales in Shawshank. So I'm staying off Tyler Phillips. I want to see him pitch well. He's going to be kicked into the to the bullpen when the playoffs come. But I like watching him pitch well. So no action for me. But I lean Phillies with you guys here. I mean, Phillies just end up the better team. And the Mariners, I'm sure you guys want them to fail in every way possible. So no action for me.
What the fuck did you just say?
Well, which part?
The whole thing. I got so lost. I'm sorry.
You have to follow. You have to follow the path.
I couldn't do it.
The full game is going over moving to the over. The first 5 is moving to the under, but it was at 4.5, which was a shocking number here. So Daby Cab doesn't look like the Pinnacle's not giving you anything else, but that 3.5. That's what they do here. That's why I know if you can get the team total under 24.5 in the Argos game, I guess you can't get it anymore. And 365 won't open it up there, I'm sure. But they're not changing it. They're Pinnacle's leaving that. We see that in college basketball on team totals when they don't want someone to bet something. That team total under 24.5 is minus 157 now.
I'm sorry. So can you tell me one more time? I'm sorry. I was just still going through the romanticizing baseball and the Parkland shooting, and I'm still trying to figure out what Jose said, but I'm just going to drop it.
He's cheering for Tyler Phillips.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, we know I don't want to get into. Obviously, I have a 6-year-old daughter. I don't want to get into what happened there. I'd like to stay focused here. If I was going to give you the team total here, if you wanted to build now, 365 does not help here, but wow, I'm a little surprised. This is a sign that interesting. The Pinnacle is making it so just the team total over 3.5 right here, right now at 365 is minus 135.
Oh, I guess I'll take it, but that still sucks. I'll take it. Let's do it.
And if you take the 4, it's not plus money.
Well, 4.5 would be plus money. 4 would probably be like minus 120 or minus 125.
Minus 108, I would guess.
Okay.
Okay, over 3.5 and minus 135 here. Take it away, Daby Cab. You want to add anything to this final spot on the board?
No, I do. I agree. And I romanticize baseball too, so I give Jose a hard time, but I'm in the same boat. I really honestly thought about doubling up on the Phillies here. I'm still just not at that point. I'm not at that point just yet to start opening up. We're almost there. I really like their team total here. We're getting all 27 outs, and obviously they don't really want us to bet it, so I'm good with it.
Okay, so I'm interested in this. Oh, I wonder if we can get a
Jose, if I send you this book, will you read it?
Depends on what the book is, but I'll actually say probably not.
It's a history of baseball, like in pictures, and it
No.
tells a bunch of crazy stories.
No, I will not.
Okay.
Can you color? Can you color it?
That's Jose probably.
I'd be more interested there.
Jimmy, you should know. I think I sent you the book.
I do have it. Yeah, I have it. It's great. I like it. I like it. No, it's great. It's a great book. Phillies team total over 3.5 and minus 135 for Daby Cab. Jose, you are off.
I'm off. Yeah.
All right, let's review all action here. But Dabra Cadabra has given us a Phillies team total over 3.5, and he has stayed off the Dodgers' first 5. That is the waffle. He has stayed off of it. You said you were listening to other spots on the board. Is there anything else that you wanted to touch on before we race?
Oh, I couldn't help but to touch on this too. Okay, so we saw Alvarez had 2 balls over 100 miles an hour at home. I understand he hasn't hit an extra base hit at home in the entire month, but in that same month, just a week ago, he had 4 doubles, a triple, and a home run in a 4-game stretch. Now, it was on the road, obviously, but he hit 2 balls over 100. One of them was 107.5 miles an hour. Nothing is wrong with him. And, of course, I've got a little bit of money on Alvarez. I just didn't make anything official today.
Okay. And don't forget our UFC contest at 12 p.m. tomorrow. 12 p.m. tomorrow. Daby Cab making the Phillies team total over 3.5 minus 135 official. If anybody can find a better line, what is it at Bet Online, Jose?
Phillies team total? What was it again?
Phillies team total. All right, I'd be curious to
Let
see. I'm
me
shocked
look.
that 365 is the best number. That's not like them.
I went to relook at the Padres futures again. They're still at 800, but I'm still pissed off that we didn't move on them, or I didn't move on them that one day.
It's a big
3.5 minus 145 Philadelphia.
Wow, I've never seen 365 give the best line on something like that. I'm surprised. All right,
Minus
locked
one
in.
and a half, or sorry, 1.5 team total for the first 5. Cabby minus 150 if you're interested.
150.
Look, dude, I already would have given that out, but I don't have a book that lets me bet it, and I'm not going to give out something that I don't have my actual money on. These aren't picks; these are bets.
Important, yeah, important. Jake Burns in the house. Kelsey joining us. It is time to swim. Daby Cab, thank you for all your hard work. We love seeing you here on Pub Sports Radio, and we'll be announcing our college football situation here shortly. Daby Cab will be a big part of that. Daby, thank you for your hard work. Check him out tomorrow, hosting Say Hey Plays of the Day. Daby, and of course, Medicaid Mondays every Monday at 11 a.m. Any last words for the Capper Sport in the show, Daby?
Oh, man, I love you guys. Tune in tomorrow morning. I got my guy Moose Money going to do it with me. I love capping baseball with Moose. It's been too long. If you don't know Moose, you're missing out. So it's going to be a good time. Jose will hold it down for you. Probably have
it's almost school time for Moose. This is almost time for him to start getting back to the classroom.
Yeah, he's almost there. Thank God I'm not there. Good for him, though. We're going to kill it tomorrow, though. Shout out to you guys in the chat. Jimmy, Jose, love you guys. I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Respect. There he is. Dabra Cadabra. Let's review all action. We cashed with Spain, and I'm going to move on France at +4 in this one. Then I'm on the Ticats +4.5. I do think I get to this Elks Rough Riders under. Nobody's going to be on it. Everyone's going to be on the over. The Elks defense is putrid, but the Rough Riders offense can't take advantage of it. But I'm going to need a little more to get there. Jeffrey Blue Balls play today is Goldie, +105 over 1.5 bases. And the Blue Waffle Parlay play of the day from Panger Life is Houston -2.5 and Atlanta -2.5. Then you guys know I've been talking about the Stampeders all week. Beat that line move by 80 cents. Justin McKelvey stacks play today. Astros over 7, or the Astros game over 7.5. And LJ from H-Town, Trill OG play days, Rays Astros over 7.5. Ron Crawford, spreadsheet dog is your Tampa Bay Rays. Your Tampa Bay Rays is the spreadsheet dog of the day. Took an L yesterday to dip down under 19 units. What a monster. He 52 bets, up 18.85 units. Shout out to Ronnie Crawford. Then the wine time's moving on the France money line against Germany. I'm too afraid of Germany for that, but I do think that they're going to play much better, just as Japan played much worse. I am a little nervous after the win with Spain. Kind of just want to hide in the corner and count money, but it's too early for that. Joey Marinaccio, the Dapper Capper, is on Gomber under 17.5 outs. Crystal Craig, her play today, Yankees team total over 2.5. Soto a hit. Got that even money. Sean Higgs gave us the Phillies Seattle under. Kelsey, come football season, we will be doing that. Razor Shark Picks gave us his entire Saratoga card. Well, and they're Arizona, Jimmy, Pittsburgh. Yeah.
I was going to say the difference between Kelsey we want to see you full pay, like pacing around, the shirtless, like, the Kraken in one hand. We want to see all of that. That's what we're more interested in.
I haven't drank Kraken in a long time.
I know.
Kraken in a long time.
When you say the K word, it's like you light up a little bit. You're like, oh.
I do. I kind of miss it, but the fucking hangovers were horrific. Noli Knows is on your Arizona Pittsburgh under 8.5.
Good.
That's got to feel good to see.
Good.
Feel good to see. Let's review all action. Jose's on the under 8.5 in Arizona Pittsburgh alongside Noli Knows. I'm still interested in Arizona. Then Joey Todero gave us Shamil Gaziev as his plant your flag fighter of the week and liking inside the distance. Then we have Jose on the Nationals full game. I'm on the Nationals first 5 and the Gamblers first glance play today. Milwaukee, Washington under 9. I'm interested in this first 5 over in Toronto, New York. I feel like it's too easy. I'm nervous, but Joe Thompson on the full game over, so it's probably ripe. Billy Friedrich pig milk play today is the Rockies money line. Slatsy 45s on Soto over 1.5 bases. I wish I could be on the Giants first 3 and first 5. I wish Kyle Harrison was announced as the pitcher. We're still waiting for that. I really, really want to back him. And let's just see if he is being announced. Has he been announced? No, Blake Snell. Wow.
Okay.
Blake Snell.
Sure.
Wow. That's going to take some study here. Wow. Okay. Then we have the under 9 in Miami, Atlanta for me. And your grandma wearing your sister's panties again play today is Miami plus 1.5. And the under 9 together plus 1.5, under 9 together plus 235. Thank you. Thank you for checking it out, Kelsey. Those were great.
Residuals, baby. Get those residuals.
They're helpful. I'll be on the Texas. They're very helpful. I'll be on the Texas Rangers. Troy Torrance is on the Cubs money line. Braves Marlins under 9, and Twin and Braves is a parlay for him. God. Jose planting his flag on a team that's lost 17 straight. Chicago White Sox first 5 plus 235 and full game plus 258. Got a lot of smirks from our friends in the chat.
Well,
I can't even see them, but I know they were.
Yeah. I know. I'm just glad that Troy left the show before that, or else he would have called my bet silly and made fun of it again.
But then it would cash. So you would.
I know. Then I am an adult and I don't talk shit about that to Troy, but I do bring it up once or twice.
Saturated says, "I don't believe it. I want to see tickets." I've seen these tickets. Saturated. So I've seen them. Rays first 5 for me. The ribeye play today is Yandy Diaz at plus 225. Angels first 5. And then I'm interested in the Padres -1. I'm really interested, but it's funny. Mikey Money talking about the recency bias on why the Dodgers are the price they're at. I mean, I feel the same way with all this love for the Rockies, but Stephen Hairston and Billy Friedrich on the Rockies certainly maybe gets me off of this -1. A's first 5 for me. Jose's on the A's first 5 in full game. And then Daby Cab's on the Phillies. Team total over 3.5. And Kong's Clips gave us Shara Magomedov and Umar Nurmagomedov parlay at -120. That is our show today. So now it's time to race. Let's get in the pool. The Olympics are on for all of us. Let's get into the pool. 45-second sprint. Hey, 45-second sprint.
5 sprints, 4 heats. 4 heats. The pool was a little crowded.
Okay. I like 4 heats. Okay, sure.
4 heats, about 18, 19 people in each heat. To start us off here, Joey Marinaccio, Top Set, Nuke, Ricky Bobby, Connor, Preston, Browns Hughes, TJ, Juan Chavez, Zoe Faye, Truth Teller, O'Brien, Palmer, Juan Ruiz.
The top 3, Jose, or the top 2?
We'll do top 2.
Okay.
No, we do top 3 still. It's the Olympics.
Okay. All right.
This still.
Okay.
Top 3 still advance. O'Brien, Palmer, Juan Ruiz, Saturated, Iron Eagle, BT, Julian Cesario, Skunt Blaster, and Nate Dogg all in the pool right now, looking magnificent as well, all of you. So let us prepare ourselves here for these 45-second sprints, and we're off. And this incessant music that needs to go away immediately.
What a race.
Duke Worker in great shape, but there he goes, falling back. BT, Joey, Preston. There's a lot of movement in these races, Jimmy. A lot of movement going on. Who's taking it home today?
Looked like Truth Teller was making a huge move to the front, and he's still there, but Saturated holding up the lead. Can he stick? Juan Ruiz coming there and Skunt Blaster. Oh, Skunt Blaster moving backwards. Connor Mack picks. C-Mac making a big move. Top Set. Here comes Truth Teller again. Truth Teller with another move. Can Truth Teller get to the finish line and make it into the finals? He's trying to get there. 3, 2, 1. Can he get there? And the answer is no. Nay to the Bob is the answer. But TJ did get in. We have TJ, Nate Dogg, and Joey Marinaccio. Truth Teller has to settle for 5th. TJ, Nate Dogg, and Joey Marinaccio moving on to the finals. Congratulations to all of you guys. David Redling saying A is starting to aggress, but Dodgers stinking it up. Smart guys pass on the side. Smart guys pass on the side, says Dave Redling. I like it. I like it, Dave. I like it. Joe Yurkovich says lots of stroking going on. I believe he's talking about which strokes they are using to swim here, but who knows? Maybe he's just looking down. Here we go, round 2. You've written down the 3 cappers that moved on, Jose?
Yes, I have them. Shout out to them. In the Heat, duh. We have Sam Colmer, Ken Wood, Donut Silk, Sharon Pullian, Rez Mob, Tehran, William Bardo, Justin McKelvey, Chris Boggin, Dominique Diaz, Bo Jackson, Billy Friedrich, Gerald Jones, Ricky Levine, Daby Cab, Crystal Craig, Sports Money, and Chosen One. All in La Piscina here today. And we're racing yet again here. A slow start for all these sons of bitches, but it does not matter how you start. It matters how you finish. William Bardo, Rez Mob, Ken Wood, Chris Boggin, Billy Friedrich, all in the mix here. A tight race here to the end. Who's going to come out on top, Jimmy? And everyone that finishes third, that finishes and gets into the finals, you're welcome.
Crystal Craig making a big move. Can Crystal Craig get to the front? William Bardo, Tehran, Big T there as well. Crystal Craig now moving backwards, but there's Mikey Money. Doesn't look like he's swimming fast, but he's making moves here, trying to get to the finish line. We're at the finish line, and Chosen One with a huge move, and Crystal Craig pushing Dominique Diaz as well. And we are at the finish line. Dominique Diaz, Chosen One, and William Bardo move on to the finals. Very exciting. Justin McKelvey was right there. That was not they didn't look like they were swimming that fast, but they got
this heat
done.
This heat was not the fastest.
No,
admittedly,
but they got the job done. All right, Mikey Money was right there. Very tight. We'll see who will make the finals. $50 on the line. And here we go. Round 3.
We'll mess with this.
Yeah, let's switch it up. Yeah.
Let's
do all women. Can we do all women?
Of course.
Let's do a women. Let's do all women.
Women.
Yeah, there we
Here
go.
We go. 18 racers lined up here in the mix here. Who's in this race? Excellent question. Coin, Big Ragu, Johnny Guns, Rod Zawacki, Jose Bouquet, who, fun fact, is not a strong swimmer. Goran Nikovsky, Big O, Jimmy the Bag, Lil Domo, J-Dub, Big Show Picks, Jarek White, Joseph Thompson, Fanatical Jim, Kent Davies, George Wood, Matty Ice, and El Dorado Custodian, Jason Meyer, round us off here. And we're in the pool officially. Here we go. Matty Ice, Jason Meyer, Jarek White, all in the mix here. This is going to be a very exciting race here. Jose Bouquet trying to survive here. Thank you. I actually looked the right shade. I obviously chose that. And Big Ragu looks very similar to what he looks like as well. Johnny Guns, Big Show Picks in the lead here.
Big Show,
who's taking it home?
Big Show is so beautiful. Big O, just absolutely ravishing. Fanatical Jim, not as attractive. Either's Little Domo. Trying to get to the finish line here. Jimmy the Bag trying to get there as well. Does he have some late pay, or does she have some late pay? Here comes J-Dub. Big Show picks up final second. And comes out of nowhere. Ooh-wee.
All right.
Big victory for Jimmy the Bag. She is a thing of beauty, man.
Need this momentum to continue here.
Jimmy the Bag and Big Show Picks moving on to the finals. God, I was just so much late pace, so much beauty. I mean, just a thing of beauty, a perfect 10. Get me on Sports Illustrated as soon as ASAP.
ASAP. All right. Is this our last heat?
Yes,
our last heat. Oh, what a beautiful time we have here. Our last heat featuring those who have not been mentioned yet, including our friends Chill Will, Nasty Nate, K Wolf, Fernando Mendoza, Paul Taylor, the Sailor, Ron Crawford, Nufflush Allen, Kelly McInnes, Dutch Boy Fresh, Randall Sheffield, Jay Peasy, Kenny Can, Philly Eagle Flyer, Joey Harb, Nunya, Old E. I can't read those last 2 names because they're too close to the edge. Jeff Slaughter and Rob Free. There. Oh, this is a beautiful, beautiful time here. Let us dive back into the pool. We're racing here again in the Aquatic Center of beautiful Southtown 101. you miss it. You almost miss it. It's just right around the corner where this lovely pool is, and we have all these races. It's beautiful. It's great. And Jeff Slaughter, who is in this race, making use of this pool and is in front right now, Jimmy.
He is. Kenny Can there as well. It's disappointing seeing the men in the pool, I'll be honest. But Nasty Nate being a kid. Nasty Nate break his. No, he can't. Jay Peasy right there as well. Ron Crawford trying to come home with it. Rob Free right there as well. Paul Taylor the Sailor. K Wolf. It's all coming down to the bottom. Nunya. Fernando Mendoza. Not Flush Allen. Nasty Nate. Late move, but it's not enough, Nate. It's not enough. Joey Harb, Nunya, and Nut Flush Allen make it into our finals. And Jay Peasy just behind Nunya there. Too bad. Nut Flush Allen also getting to the window. Here we go. Our finals. It's all on the line. And Jose, I demand all women. I demand it.
All women. Mark.
I demand it. Thank you. All right, our finals. There you go, TJ. Nate. Oh, sorry.
There it goes. There's the list. Hold on. We had to repaste.
Okay, no worries.
Give it a second here. This website is not perfect. Yes, TJ, Nate Dogg, Joey Marinaccio, Dominic Diaz, Chosen One, son of a fucking bitch. This goddamn website. Okay. Chosen One, William Bardo, Jimmy the Bag, Big Show Picks, Big O, Joey Harb, Nunya, and Nut Flush Allen are our 12 racers here. We'll even put it for a full fucking minute here. God bless us here. And this son of a bitch, we don't want, we want just women running these races. And there they are in their glory. A minute to win it. Who's got the pace? Who's got the heart? And who's got the gills? Let's find out here. In a beautiful, beautiful race. Jimmy the Bag, that red looks slimming on you.
Oh, it's just a very alert start. Now I take a breather, sit back.
Yeah, now you relax. Now Joey Harb takes a minute in the lead here. There's 44 seconds left here. A longer race here than everyone's accustomed to in the pool. Who survives this? Swimming is very difficult. Maybe we have to throw the lifeguard in there. Who knows? But everything is on the line here, Jimmy.
Yes, it is. Nunya has taken the lead. $50 up for grabs. William Bardo right there as well. Big O making a move to the front. Just 20 seconds left. Big move from TJ on lane 1. A big move from TJ. Nunya making moves as well. Big Show right there. Big smile on Big Show's face. She's beautiful. Jimmy the Bag trying to get involved as well. Jimmy the Bag showed alertness off the top. I think there's more from Jimmy the Bag. I think there's more from Jimmy the Bag. Push, Jimmy. Push. Not Flush out. There's Big Show. Big Show to the wire. Look at that. Look at that. Ramos. Look at that. Big Show is our champion. $50 richer for our friend, the Big Show. Congratulations, Big Show, getting that papier. And thank you to all of you guys. Jose, great work on the 1s and 2s, getting us ready to roll. We thank you guys. I've got to get my action in here. 2:10 p.m. We have France's basketball game coming up in 50 minutes. France, of course, coming off a really poor performance, and I want to take advantage of that. We have reviewed all action, so all we need to do is thank you guys. Truly thank you for your support. We're just a couple weeks away from things heating up, adding college basketball. We'll have WNBA back in business. Right after that, NFL starts. Right after that, NHL and NBA start. So it's just going to be extremely exciting here. Things are going to heat up around here. Thank you guys. Swiggy talking about the UFC contest. Don't forget, it starts at noon. Free UFC contest, $100 to the winner. It starts at noon. And that is, of course, in Abu Dhabi. Joe Yurkovich, Kelsey, Chill, Will. Also, you guys with the donations, thank you so much. Chill, Will, Cameron Sinnott. It meant a ton to us. So thank you so much for your guys' support. UPK, Yashala, thank you. We had Cheshire Cat doing a ton of donos yesterday. Thank you guys for supporting our channel. It means a ton to us, and we have nothing without you guys. Kelly McInnes, Textiles, AOD, Nate Dogg, Rem Most, Big Show Picks. Congratulations on your win. He said he was going to win, and he did exactly that. AOD, Swiggy, Leroy, Flood. Thank you guys. Kong's Clips in the house. Daby Cab, Joe Yurkovich, Ramos, Fat Wally, great to see you back in business. Go out there and get that cash. Mikey, Money, thank you. All of you guys, thank you so much for all of your support. Truly, we don't have anything without you. Skunk Blaster, Coin, Dave Redling, Ricky, Bobby. I haven't screamed Ricky in a long time. And maybe when I have a big weekend here, I'll come back and I'll be screaming it. Wager Detective, thank you guys. Jake Burns, thank you all.
I still
Steven
never watched
Harrison.
the end of that movie, huh?
Which movie?
Boys in the Hood. I got to the part where they were older, and obviously it's not very far. I got to the part where they were older and they were at a barbecue.
Oh, that's a fascinating story, Jose.
Thank you.
And
Thank you. I'm here to regale everyone of my tales of grandeur.
Yeah, an important bookend here. Kelsey asking about her steak, by the way. Jose, thank you for all your hard work. Thank you to all in the chat. Jose, can you please bless our action and send us into the future?
Yes, Kelsey, just go ahead.
Look at that. Skunk Blaster with a $20 dono blessing our action. What a guy. Thank you, all of you guys, for your donos today. It's really wonderful. It means a ton to us. So thank you so much. Skunk Blaster delivering. I love it.
Beds all action. Shout out to you, Skunt. Bless our action. Shout out to you, Skunt. We appreciate you, my guy. And like I said, support Pub Sports Radio in any way you can. We obviously are busting our balls for content, and we appreciate you guys for showing up here. It makes doing this stuff worth doing. So we appreciate you guys. So support Pub Sports Radio in any way you can. Memberships, going to the website and purchasing some merch. Be our portable billboards. Tell everyone about the Pub Sports Radio brand. There's shirts right now. You can go purchase one with old Jimmy the Bag's face on there, an old Low Shack. Tell people about who they are and spread the word about Pub Sports Radio. Thank you, everyone. Skunt Blaster, Kelsey, thanks for popping in the chat. Be sure to send me your mailing address, and I'll send you 2 prime cuts of steak, Kelsey. Don't worry. Nate Dogg, AOD, Chill Will, Leroy, Textiles, all you guys. Shout out to you, Big Show. Appreciate you guys. Now let's go make some motherfucking money, and let's go Chicago White Sox. Leche a los bookmakers.